Hey, welcome back to RERole. This is Will, and I'm not sure why my hair's flickering. Welcome to Session 2 of our Daggerheart campaign. Last session, we introduced our homebrewed world of Tolnira and met the adventuring party in the town of Godsgullet, which is the boomtown that formed around the discovery of the maw of an ancient eldritch being. The maw turned out to be an interplanar portal that offers us very small chance at life-changing amounts of wealth and power. Our party of adventurers was hired as a part of the New Leaf Collective, basically a crowd-funded delving crew, and after visiting the temple to pay respects to the gods, they took their walk and entered the maw. They landed in a tranquil forest that they soon discovered was home to some rather unsavory large bipedal reptiles. Think, na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. The air in this world seems to be charged with raw magical energy that they are able to tap into, though their control is somewhat limited. They stumbled upon an incredible shining city that exists in the middle of an enormous river at the top of a waterfall that dwarfs any they have seen in Tolnira. With some clever use of natural magics on Oz's part, they were able to avoid a misunderstanding with some juvenile T-Rexes?
It's
Couldn't
T-Rex
possibly
time.
matter. And traversed the river via the combined brains and brawn of Cindrix and Reggie, as Heron form Oz looked on from above. They discovered the city to be all but abandoned and overgrown with vines and moss, seemingly in disuse for many years. Dinosaurs roamed the streets, but that soon turned out to be the least of their problems, as they found themselves the targets of some corrupted beasts that oozed a purplish black ichor. They were able to defeat the beasts with big AoE magic from Oz, clever use of the wild magic table and positioning by Reggie, and the raw combat prowess and strength of Cindrix. Immediately after, they were surrounded by some humanoid fish, bird, and other aquatic or semi-aquatic beings, all with very high-quality, magically enchanted weapons. A tall, heron humanoid wielding an enchanted halberd stepped forward, but a language barrier prevented the exchanging of information. So they were led into the inner circle of the city, where they discovered a smaller population that is seemingly seeking shelter behind the walls of the palace. They were led inside to a kingfisher humanoid who pulled out a tome and stumbled through a spell that finally allowed them to understand one another before welcoming them to Oramundi. And that is where we pick up today.
And this person that we met, the Heron, what was their name?
You've gotten no other information aside from what I just said.
This is the first person we were able to talk to.
And how were we able to understand them? I can't remember.
The spell?
There was a spell.
Did you listen to the recap that I just finished? It was
I'm-
for you.
Dude, I missed I missed like the last 15 seconds, and those were by far the most important.
Arguably
Those were the
most
two things
important.
that you just asked.
Which is why I was asking. Yeah, everything else I'm
We did not know the
I'm
name,
there.
and they used a spell that
Okay.
All right.
gave us access.
All right, now. Okay.
The kingfisher finishes the spell, asks if it worked, and then says, "Welcome to Oramundi." And as soon as that resolves, the heron steps forward and says, "Thank you, Lady Catian. I am Gaxes." To answer your question.
Oh, nice. There we go.
There is much I am sure you are confused about. Please come with me to my study so I may explain. The guards escort you down the hallway into a larger office with a long table in the middle, maps strewn across it, a desk at the end, banners on the walls, and more statues of avian and aquan humanoids in robes. You are offered chairs, and he sits on the other side of the desk. Guards sort of flood the space behind you, though they seem to be a little more at ease.
Quite the office you have here. Oh, is it Gaxes?
Gaxes, yes.
Gaxes. Oz.
It's a pleasure to meet you. He reaches out and shakes your hand. These humanoids follow the same general anatomic structure as like what you might be familiar with from D&D, like an Aarakocra. So they do have arms and legs and functioning hands. They also have wings coming out of their backs. But his neck is long and kind of bent in the same way that you would expect a heron's to be, and his beak sits down halfway down his chest. And as he like reaches out to shake your hand, his head does kind of extend, and he minds his beak so as not to stab you in the face. And he looks to the other two. And you are?
My name's Reggie. Nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Reggie.
And this is my friend Cindrix. He's quiet sometimes.
I see. Well, he more than makes up for it on the battlefield.
And you look over and Cindrix has taken some linen bandages from his pack and is like covering many of the open wounds, still dripping blood. It wasn't as easy as it looked.
I'm certain it wasn't, but you did make it look quite easy. We can tend to your wounds in a matter of moments. I apologize for the wait, but I think there are a few things that we need to clarify before we move forward. I am sorry for the armed guard, but things have been tense in Oramundi as of late. But please tell me about yourselves. Where have you come from?
Well, we come from the middle of the jungle, I guess. That's where we kind of popped in. Just at the cliff face. That away.
Interesting. By what means did you traverse between the plains?
It's hard to say. Walked into a mouth, I suppose.
You were consumed then?
In a sense. As far as I can tell. I didn't do much research on this before I took the walk.
Do you know how it works?
No.
I'm
I
confused.
wasn't talking to you, Oz.
I'm confused by your words. I can't tell if it's the spell, a translation issue. I'm unfamiliar with the walk. You talk casually of being consumed.
Well,
We did it voluntarily.
Gosh. You... Why?
To
We all
pop
have
into
our
a jungle.
reasons.
Torathal, the Great Glutton, came to your realm, and you voluntarily stepped into its maw?
That's right.
What is
Well-
Ornithal?
Perhaps I should start, and you can tell me what you're familiar with and what you aren't. At this point, one of the guards steps forward from behind, and you see that same large catfish humanoid. Wisps coming off of his top lip, carrying this enormous cannon, effectively, with runes carved into the sides.
You invite outsiders into our walls at a time like this. You are a fool, Gaxes, and you doom us all.
That will be all, Kroom. Return to the wall. Verify there have not been any other sightings. He turns and storms out.
Was he just
With
was
the
he
guards.
the office the whole time?
He was with the guards that I said had
Oh,
flooded in behind you.
Well, he was nice enough to wait his turn to speak.
Yeah. Are we alone now with this guy?
I believe he was waiting for information about who you are and why you're here.
Oh, fair enough.
I'm gonna go ahead and start a countdown timer. This countdown timer is for whenever Travis passive aggressively breaks the fourth wall in character dialogue. He's known to do it. He tries to criticize something about DMing. So I'm gonna tick it down. I'm not gonna tell you how big the dice is, but know that once it hits 0, horrible things are gonna happen.
Honestly, you tell every DM that. Let's see how far it goes.
Yeah, that's true. We should keep it going between sessions because you're not gonna want to be on the other end of that.
Can't wait.
I
Yeah,
wait.
can't wait when it's you two against us. Yeah.
So he storms out. You say your passive aggressive bullshit.
Thank you.
And Gaxes returns and says, I'm sorry. Trust that he is a good man. But as I say, times are tense as of late. Now, where was I?
Tornathal.
It has been generations since Tarothal, the great glutton, came. Then, Oramundi was a proud magocracy, unmatched in our control of mana. And as a result, we had not seen conflict or war for hundreds of years. We were not prepared to defend ourselves. We lost. And in the process, our population diminished to a fraction of what it once was. When the assimilation was complete, the boundaries between our world and the others began to blur. Displaced beasts and alien creatures flooded in. This was my assumption as to how we met you. And I assume Crumbs as well. Our people were quick to build up our defenses against the beasts that flooded in, and soon life in Oramundi once again found balance. We mourned our losses, but we stabilized. Our mages began to study the event and plan for what could be done in response or retaliation. And that is the way things stayed. Until around 50 years ago, when we were overrun by a force of creatures with that same purplish ichor and distorted appearance as those you defeated today. They came all at once from the skies, land, and sea. Still, we were unprepared. The mages reinforced our defenses against beasts that act on instinct. These corrupted souls, they showed intelligence. They strategized. They breached our walls, and faster than we could respond, they were already fleeing. They took with them all the prominent mages of the city. Those that couldn't take or that resisted were killed. And just like that, once again, we were left leaderless and defenseless. We restructured, reorganized, and sent out search parties, but they found nothing. Not that they could have done anything if they had. To bolster our defenses, we resorted to collecting all leftover magical artifacts and forged weapons utilizing their enchantments. Magic had failed us, so we became warriors. We bolstered our defenses and swore we would be prepared for when they returned. But they didn't. Not until a few days ago. Smaller forces this time, more spread out, as if they're testing us. But now we are ready. We had been tracking that group you intercepted for some time before they entered the city. But what you did, with just the 3 of you, gave me pause. You seem to come from a world that knows war, greater than Oramundi ever has. You could be great allies, or great threats. Given the information that you've provided, I find it hard to decide which. So tell me, which is it?
Reggie will step forward at this point. Gaxes? That was your
Yes.
name, right? Like I said, my name's Reggie. This is Oz. This is Cindrix. I think my friends here were just being a little close to the chest with some information because we didn't know anything about this place. But I tend to be a pretty trusting person based off of how people treat us, and you've shown us respect, so I'll give you a little bit more detail as to how we got here. That beast you talked of, the RERole, that was pretty close.
Close enough.
Yeah. That thing somehow perished on our plane. When we came through here, it was voluntarily. We walked through basically a cave that had opened up. But like they said, we came here with our own individual motivations because of it. The thing is, whatever those were that were here, seems like they're tearing up the place. And you guys seem nice enough. So, why don't we make a deal of some kind? You help us with what we're looking for, and we'll help you.
I had a feeling that you were withholding some information. I thank you for putting pieces back in the puzzle so that I may view the full picture. It still shocks me, however. Well, first, I should say you were able to do what we could not, and for that I commend you. It must be true that you come from a plane that knows war and knows combat. If you were able to defeat the Great Glutton. Also, I take no offense to you not remembering the name. It's not as though it announced its presence. It was the name we assigned it, and probably foreign to your tongues. It still strikes me as odd that you would elect to go through this beast's maw and be transported to another, I assume, unknown plane. Or have you managed to direct the transportation?
Well, to put it in one fashion, you know of volcanoes, yes?
Yes.
Imagine if someone fell into a volcano someday and then walked out with a big shining sword.
Cocks his head like a bird.
Like a bird. Aaron joke. Anyway. Then a bunch of people came together and funded more people to jump into that volcano to see if they could come out with one of those big shining magic swords. Or diamonds. Or whatever. Success rate incredibly low. We're the desperate ones. Spotter. Those willing to take a dive, to walk out with really anything.
I think I understand. In a way, I'm very sorry for whatever has pushed you to this end, but I am also very grateful. I do think there is something that we can help each other with. If artifacts are what you seek, you will be gifted powerful weapons of our own construction. And any individual goals that you may have, if they are within our power, they will be accomplished. If returning home is what you seek, then you will be granted access to our vast libraries of research, tomes and scrolls. All of this will be granted to you if you aid us in this now.
I got some questions.
He speaks.
These foreign invaders that have been causing you a problem. Do you call them anything?
I've found myself in the unfortunate position of having to ask which foreign invaders you're referring to.
I guess,
The Icker kind?
yeah, I was under the assumption that all these enemies that you've been dealing with were allegedly coming from one source. Like, the enemies that took the mages, for example. Are they related to these Icker
They are.
enemies?
I think the confusion is there have been multiple beasts that have made their way into our plane. For example, the large reptiles, not native to our plane. I hate to make an assumption, but perhaps from your plane, large lizard man.
We're more distant cousins from realmatic cousins.
I
But
see.
they probably exist somewhere, just not where I'm from.
Well, to answer your question, yes.
So-
All of these attacks that have happened, our mages going missing, this most recent attack, the more impactful ones have come all at the hands of the corrupted. That is what we
No.
call them. We know not a name to associate with them.
How can we help? Do you want us to go find these mages? Or try and find the source? What can we do?
Effectively, yes, but I can aid you in this. Our scouts have traced the source of this scourge to the lower reaches, down the Great Falls. Tell me, does your anatomy allow you to traverse underwater for great distances?
Absolutely not.
Mine does.
Well, unless
I'd
you
rather
would
not.
like to attend alone. That is a pity, but this does provide an interesting opportunity for you to further prove your capabilities and your loyalty to our community. If you are able to obtain lungwort, an herb that was once used in potions to allow individuals to breathe underwater for long periods of time, then you may be able to aid us in our strike force. Our naval forces have no need for it, but there is likely still some growing in the botanical sector. Unfortunately, it is currently home to a creature native to this realm that has been displaced by the invading reptiles. The cost of this, removing this threat, up until now has been too great to justify the risk. However, after what I've seen, I think you're more than capable. It will gain us access once again to a variety of medicinal herbs and remove a threat from our outer city. It would be doing us a great service if you accept.
Do you have a description of this beast?
Yes, the beast is a Venatora. It's territorial and aggressive. Also has a nasty habit of turning its prey to stone before consuming it. But for now, you should
Huh.
rest.
Lovely.
Of course, quarters
it
will be
a
provided for
reptilian?
you. Sorry. It is, in a way, amphibious. But its hide is thick and scaled and spined. We can discuss more about it over dinner. We're having a weekly feast in the Great Hall. If
Ooh.
you'd be interested in
Foreign food.
attending. Of course, we'll provide quarters. It's been a long time since we've had visitors, I hope.
Here I was thinking I'd probably have to sleep on the ground. My! It's been lovely bumping into you.
Feeling is mutual. We may be able to help each other quite a lot.
Well, I hope that's true.
I am not hiding any information from you. If you have any other questions for me, I would like to give you a bit of a break before I try to push you out the door again on a mission is all. Any questions you have, I can't answer before.
Have you encountered any others like us from a different realm and willing to cooperate.
No, not willing to cooperate, though we have found individuals, or rather, remains, on scouting missions. I believe Tarothal's consumed planes must exist in a space where they sometimes overlap. And in those moments, things can bleed between realms. We have not been able to determine the exact ins and outs. Lady Catian, who you met earlier, is one of our historians. She reads through the texts of the mages that researched this after the assimilation, but still much is not known.
What was her name? Lady Cathian?
Catian.
I got a few questions, but I can save them till dinner.
Very good. Then,
This is a lot to wrap our heads around.
That's right.
which is why I think we should save the rest of the conversation. Please take as much time as you need. You will be kept under surveillance. I hope you understand. It's not that I don't trust you, but times are tough, and we've only just met. If there's nothing else. He gestures, and the guards kind of step forward to help you out of the room,
All right.
guide you to your quarters.
I'll go that
away
way.
we go.
All right. You guys leave. He stands and bows as you all leave.
Nice meeting you.
It was nice to meet you as well. We'll talk soon. And you are all escorted out in through the palace once more to these actually pretty well maintained, kind of extravagant guest quarters. There are large beds lining both walls, more than your small group could ever need, with chests at the foot, an attached washroom.
Solid construction. Ooh, hardwood.
It's the same white stone floors and the veins of precious metals that weave throughout up onto the walls. Pillars, areas of it are sort of mirroring the natural make of the crystalline structures that you saw from the outside of the palace.
Well, all right. Oz will go and sit cross-legged on the cold ground and pat the ground in front of him. Come, Cindrix. Sit down. With your back to me. I'll start pulling out some bandages. Let's see what we can do.
Audibly groan as I sit down. Ugh.
Come on, straighten your back.
Ugh.
As I'll get to work and start patching Cindrix up some.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate it, Oz.
Oh, this might sting a little bit. What was that? I'll do it again.
Sorry, I sneezed.
Ah,
Achoo.
The lightning, like some sparks fly out of his
Yeah.
mouth.
Must be the pollen in the air.
Yeah, it's allergies.
Well, Reginald,
Yeah?
what do you take of all this?
Oh boy. While he's talking, he'll go sit on the side of one of the beds and let out Piper, who just starts like squeaking and stretching and like coming up to my shoulder. I think it's a lot to take in. Seems like these people really need our help, but I'm kind of torn, to be honest with you fellas. I mean, I like helping people, but I didn't come here to die for someone else. If that makes sense.
Understandable.
That's fair.
But sounds like these people, I mean, this world's rich with whatever this magic is that I'm feeling. And I think if anywhere might have a cure for the mold, it might be here. So my plan is at dinner, I'm going to ask them to help me with that. And if they agree, then I'll agree to help them with theirs.
Understandable. Yes, it's been resistant to any of the tests I've done on it. If you're curious.
I am very curious.
Well,
I appreciate you.
I hate to say it, I don't have very much to report back.
The fact that you're trying means a lot. That's all right. If you keep working on it, I'll be very appreciative. And I'll keep working on it from my end too.
Whatever. like flick something off that was stuck to Citrix.
Whatever that was, that feels a lot better.
Yeah.
Some alien leech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Body's not used to, yeah.
I also think if we're able to get rid of this corruption threat, it'll clear the path for whenever we move on with our mission or need to get out of here.
That is true.
Well,
That
we
seems
don't.
like that's the case.
We don't really have any knowledge on how to get out of here.
No, they did say they had access, or they would give us access to their knowledge.
Correct.
So maybe we could talk to Lady Catian about that at some point. But for now, just at dinner, don't promise too much. But I'm
Of
willing to
course.
listen and cooperate.
Yeah, that's a good point. How forthcoming do we want to be? I know I kind of told him the truth. And I could tell Oz you were being intentional about what you were saying. But it felt like the right thing at the time.
Yes. And frankly, I have no actual knowledge. If he pressed me on anything, I wouldn't be able to give him anything more than what I did.
Well, that works out then.
Mm-hmm. The way I saw it is the example I gave.
Okay.
Man walked into a volcano, walked out. Why not throw 100 more souls in to see if one can fish up another one?
Yeah, Reggie, I think when it comes to trying to cure the mold, perhaps some of the information about what your home is like might be valuable to them in that regard.
That is true. I do plan, if it comes up, on giving him one of my vials. And like I open up my pouch and you can see it's just lined with like 10 or so vials that I've brought with me. Maybe that'll help him. I hope so. You know, speaking of, it seems like you guys are definitely on board with helping me. Now, I want to help you guys too while I'm here. We are a team, for example. Cindrix, I know you're searching for something. And Oz, you're just here to get a good views and stories, right?
Correct.
Well, I don't know how to specifically help you with that, but I'll do my best to make it a good story.
Hey, everyone has a story.
Oz, I got a question if you don't mind.
Of course.
I think last time we spoke about this, you said that you have some stories that you want to be able to tell some little ones. Are these your little ones?
No, not little. One set of ears.
A little one. Or one.
I don't think he ever specified age, my friend.
Everything's little to Cindrix, so maybe he just sort of
Yeah.
like assumed.
Yeah.
It's all about perspective.
Well, you would look down.
Well, sorry, I should have been listening a little better. But, I don't know, I'm not good at this sort of thing. I guess.
You're doing fine.
and
I'll
I'm just like, hold on.
Slap some of your wounds.
I'm gonna lift up my arm, just like a barber, like you're leaning into it to help. It's just like I'm giving you access to my wounds underneath, as you're just like dressing me this whole time.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I guess I just feel a little bit vulnerable with you right now, and I can't help but want to learn more about you. Not like that. And I'm gonna stand up. Like, oh, actually, I feel okay now. Thanks, Oz. I'm gonna go sit over here.
The other side's
I'm
still
gonna
bleeding.
like face away.
Like halfway done
Yeah.
with the bandaging.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose I'll just cut that there. You could just take the rest of that trailed behind, roll that up onto something, whatever works.
Oh, yeah.
If you're done, then that's fine.
Around his head. Yeah.
Yeah, and Reggie, I am looking for something, and the only way to help right now is just keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for other activity of previous expeditions or previous walks.
I can do that. Well,
So,
all right.
You guys hear some scraping as Oz has pulled out just a mortar and pestle and is grinding something. So, who do you know that took the walk?
Talking to me.
Yes.
Someone very close to me. And it was recent.
I don't really know anyone that took the walk.
He also looks a lot like me. And he's also has the same father and mother as me. He's also
All
a
right,
great warrior
we're
like me.
filling in some details.
He's not done. Let him finish.
And he has a bright purple under where mine is blue. But
Okay.
that's just all I can tell you for now.
Now, wait a minute. You told me about this guy back in God's Gullet. Your brother?
Yes, my brother.
Your brother took the walk.
That he did. That he did.
Okay.
And he's a greater warrior than I, so I have hope.
Well, that'll make it a lot easier to keep my eye out if he's as big as you. It'll be hard to miss.
Indeed.
Well,
Well, who is bigger?
It depends who's wearing shoes, and
Oh,
I
you
think
are brothers, aren't you?
personally I'd say me. But I think I haven't seen him in some years. I think I hit a growth spurt since the last time I saw him, so it's probably me now.
did you continually grow?
Well, I'm only about 100 years old, so I think I'm about done growing.
I see.
Hmm.
I see.
I imagined you a bit younger.
Well, I am pretty young.
Hey, don't take this the wrong way, but how old are you?
Well,
You
almost
never
at
ask
my
a half
200th
elf,
year, I
half
believe.
turtle how old they are.
Yeah, you're right. I apologize.
What'd you say, Oz? Sorry, I stopped.
I've never heard of that social faux pas.
Expression. Did you say 200?
Just about.
Well, look at this.
196, I believe, specifically.
No.
And I'm not really sure how long I will live. There's usually a decent estimate for the purebloods, but as you can tell, I'm hybrid, and I'm certainly old for a Galapan.
But you are still very capable in battle.
I suppose
feel
so.
like- Oz, I noticed. I think, it won't hurt my feelings. I could tell you're holding back. I don't fight for ego. I don't fight for a show. I just do what needs to be done.
Hmm.
And if you can help me do that, please, I will fight alongside you.
That is surprising to hear. Certainly from an Arubian.
You know, I've learned to adapt to the other sea folk cultures. And I think one day we might just get along.
Hey,
Well,
Cindrix,
I very thankful to hear that, Cindrix. I
boss.
just wish the rest of the Arubians would follow suit.
You know, we're not all so bad. Now, I do have some cousins that I think I know the type you're talking about. Very proud.
Do you?
Uh,
The ones who prowl the waters, steal from fishermen, force them out
Alright.
of their sea
you were probably on our side of
into the
water
more
anyway.
dangerous waters around the area, filled with pirates, all hunting those
Merchants.
searching for a mercenary to hire. A lot of desperate souls searching for the next best warrior to
All right,
help
I feel
them
like
with their cause.
see now you're going on a tangent. You're throwing us in with them, and we're only slightly related to those.
That's where they're
folks.
going. They're going to the Rubian Isles. They want
That's a
to hire those
speculation.
big soldiers.
That's a speculation. But you know, if
And
someone
so
is
all
bringing the right,
defenseless, desperate people carrying lots of money attract pirates.
hey Reggie, hey Oz,
Yeah.
did something happen in your past with these Arubians? You seem pretty passionate about this.
A lot of white sheets. A lot of heartbreak. I think the one that hit me the hardest is a little boy ran into my cabin, said, Oz, Oz. Another one washed ashore. If I take you there, can I go back to playing?
Ouch. That sounds
Pirate-
rough.
Confusing, simple fishing vessels, one of our main sources of food, Seabend. For these merchant ships. The Bent Bay is in a rough spot right now. And the Arubians aren't interested in policing their waters. And that leaves these small, weaker villages fending against these pirates on their own. And that's where my experience comes from.
Well,
Oz, sorry to hear that. You know, on a more serious matter, I'm aware that there are peoples of my island that defile our honor and tradition and are swayed by these pirates, and they may be involved in what you were discussing. And
I don't believe
sorry.
the Arubians are completely at fault. And I do not hold the child accountable for the sins of their father. So, Cindrix, I would like to apologize as well. When Reginald told me he found another big guy to fill in when this other companion of yours, not that horrible monkey creature, had to separate for a short time. Found another one to fill in that third slot. And I found out it was an Aruvian. I had mixed feelings. But we're here now. And you seem focused. You have your own problems. And all those problems I have are back in the sands. So Cindrix, if I may, allow me to help you find your brother.
And I was still like sitting over here. Oz.
Cindrix.
Thank you. Your words mean a lot. And I appreciate you wanting to help find my brother. Perhaps when this is all over and we get back, my people will come to your village with what we have left and see what we can do. Perhaps the Izith Core Monastery can send some guard, but we'll talk more details another time.
Yes. Thinking of home is comforting, but not really the thing to do now. An unknown distance away.
Well, look at us, fellas. We're a real team now. By the way, Cindrix, you commented on Oz, his fighting prowess, but I noticed you didn't say anything about mine. I just curious.
Now, Reggie, I believe that everybody in this party serves a role. Now,
Here it goes.
your role, I think, varies from fight to fight, but I think that's where you excel, is that you think on the fly. When you whipped out that wild magic, it was the perfect play at the perfect time. It allowed me to go beast mode, some would say. So, just keep doing what you're doing, and Oz and I will make sure that us three see through to the end.
I like that. Well, all right.
And maybe one of these days soon, you'll be the one saving me.
Now, wouldn't that be something?
Look at that, boys. You have my back. And I'll toss the old sodden crook into the air and tap my back with it, and you'll just hear the thunk thunk.
By the way, are we in a short rest?
That was my next question as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can take a short rest. You have as much time as you'd like here. You have,
Yeah.
Okay.
2 hours probably before dinner.
Yeah. Oz, did you
Assuming
actually
they eat dinner at the same time that you guys would expect?
did you actually do any healing mechanics to him, or were you
No.
planning on it? Okay.
I mean, I don't think I can actually heal you, but how's your guys' armor looking?
I'm capped. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna rebuild armor.
I have 2 slots left.
Okay.
Well, I'm about to get... Oh, no, man, that's a long rest.
Yeah, because during short rests, I can help people with armor. I can't help. heal them.
I need to take HP and stress. Like, I got messed up.
Yeah. I'm
Okay,
gonna
well, then I can repair your armor.
mine.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I
Oh.
can do both your armor.
Probably, I have 2
I
slots
love that.
left. I can save those. I think Reggie might need it more if I have 2.
Because I have. Don't forget, I have 3 actions. So
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have no armor slots left available.
then I'll rebuild
That is-
some armor for you.
Cool.
Just pass it over here.
Rolling
All
a
right.
d4
I get naked.
for my health, 10 to my wounds.
No, just kidding.
I got a 2.
Good for
plus
you,
my
I guess.
tier is
Describe
2,
it.
so I can remove 4.
It's a 2-pronged. Never
All
mind.
right, don't fucking describe it.
Hmm.
Oh god,
It's a
that
D4
sucks.
for-
It's probably true, unfortunately, and that sucks worse.
um,
The D4 for armor, right?
yes. Yep. I'll see
Okay.
what you roll for that before I decide.
Yeah, I'm tending to my wounds and I'm clearing stress. And it says to describe how I clear my stress. I'm going to close my eyes and start sharpening my sword and polishing it, thinking about this Venatara that we're gonna have to fight, and knowing that my blade has to be sharp to pierce its thick skin.
Oh, and
That's my form of meditation.
I rolled my d4 as the GM as consequences of taking your downtime, and I rolled a 1. So I had one
nice.
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 How's my armor looking?
Also, during this rest, I can do another thing, but I'll fix both you guys' armors. Oh, that's good. I fixed 4 armor
No.
slots for Reginald,
Yes.
3 for Cindrix.
That is so clutch.
Oh, you got me too?
Yeah,
Oh,
I did both you
hell
guys'
yeah.
armor.
Oh my god, that's so big.
Yeah.
Oz the
And-
caretaker.
Yeah. And I will spend the my last one. Let's
That's
do
so big.
Let's
Oh
do
my
some
God.
hope. I'll just generate 1 hope.
Okay.
Just resting and just kind of enjoying the moment that we bonded as a team a little bit.
Yes. I will.
In addition, is anybody else
Mm-hmm.
feeling still have some stress left?
I am, but I'm
Yeah.
about to. I'm gonna try to clear it.
Well,
So I.
I have an additional point I can clear.
Okay, cool. I'll take it.
Because what I was grinding up earlier was just like some more scented herbs, and it's kind of filling the room and reminding everyone a little bit, almost like a sea breeze, as I'm using. What's the name of the feature? Where the fuck did it go? The clarity of nature. Once for long rest and create a space in natural serenity within close range. And if we spend a few minutes here, which we did, I can clear stress equal to my instinct. So 3, which I get 2 of
Oh,
those.
wow. Okay, cool.
So
And
So
you
I
also
can
clear
just
1
clear off-
stress because of your premium
Yes.
bedroll.
Oh, true. Never
Oh.
mind. In that
All
case,
of us? just him.
I have.
just him.
Just him.
I forgot about that. So I have 2 stress to clear. Yeah, I can do that. How you doing, Centrix? Stress.
I'm good on stress. I'm
Oh.
clear.
Okay. I'm also gonna
Does
roll.
Daggerheart specify if you can split up your points though? I think you probably either have to clear your
This
own stress
one,
or somebody
this
else's.
one specifically.
Oh, this is your ability.
Yeah, this is part of my subclass.
Okay, cool.
I
That's awesome.
cleared some more stress, and I did that by just our conversation was stress clearing for me. So I cleared 2 more stress, and then I'm going to.
Did you
tend-
add your tier to that roll, Colby? When you clear stress or your health, you roll the d4, then you add your tier.
Oh, so I fully cleared my stress. Nice. Thanks.
Oh.
Thanks, Cindrix. And then I'm going to tend to my own wounds. And that clears me. Sweet. Good deal. All right.
All right. So as you guys
That
bond
was
and
helpful.
recover, patch each other up, you also notice in the chests at the foot of the bed, there are available fine garments if you choose to wear them. They're very much in the style of Oramundi, so they're like
But do they fit?
layered, flowing. There's a lot of options. So
Okay.
yes, there's something that if nothing else, you could probably use the sheets or something. But they're like layered, flowy, airy kind of robes, basically. very formal. They look like they would be warmer than they are. They're actually quite green. You can decide kind of the details of them if you'd like for your specific character, what you're able to find, like color and style, if you so choose, or you could keep your normal clothing. It's up to you.
I will grab a robe from this chest, find the biggest one that's red.
Remember, there are like a hippo race of people in this world. So they're not like
that
your
should
size is
probably
not
fit.
unheard of. Like they,
Okay.
they have something that'll fit you.
Okay.
The heron was like, 7 feet tall at a hunch. So
Oh, true. So yeah, he's okay.
he's very tall,
Um,
but yes.
Okay. Well, I'll find one that fits, and I'm gonna keep all my dirty clothes on and my chainmail on, and just put this over it.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna
sure.
rip off the sleeves because I like to have my arms free. I don't
Sure.
like the restriction. And then that's it. I'll have like a belt that'll kind of tie up around my waist, but
It's kind of like layered robes, so there's not like sleeves in the same sense that you're imagining, but I will say that you found a way to like roll it up and kind of cord around your
Okay.
arms so
Yeah,
that you
I'll
have
make
like
it
the
work.
sleeveless look. Yeah.
Nice. I'll
What color were they? Sorry, I may have missed that.
red. And in my mind, if
Yeah.
possible, I also found one where it has like the baby or like light blue accents kind of along the
Yeah.
inseams.
Yeah,
Nice,
and there are
nice.
layers, so you could have kind of
it's-
like layered elements underneath that kind of peek out if that's what you're looking
Yeah,
for.
and it doesn't look. Yeah, okay. I almost
Doesn't clash
named
with
another
your
IP.
red, right?
Yeah.
Ah, yeah. Well, that's fine, I think.
Okay. Well, it doesn't look like Spider-Man, even though I described it as looking like Spider-Man.
But you do have the mask, right? With the big
Yeah,
like
come on.
teardrop
Completely
eyes.
unrelated though. It's very
Yeah.
regal.
He brought that with him.
very, Yeah. Yeah.
A human spider. Yeah.
nice. You can see Reggie is like over near one of these closets, and you just hear him like talking quietly to Piper. Like, what do you think of this one? No, I don't like that one either. And then they're having a conversation, and you hear like little squeaks, as if
From
he
both
can.
of you or from her?
Well,
To
from
be
her.
clear,
I'm
are you-
speaking.
okay.
I'm
You're not
speaking the
squeaking
common
back.
tongue. No.
Okay. Okay.
And you can tell that like this is made up. Like it's
Yeah.
if you're talking to your pet.
Yeah.
And then I'll choose something that looks pretty sleek, but I don't really mess with it that much. I choose something that I think fits their culture and am choosing to look as they would.
You dressing in black?
It is black with some blue trimmings, so it kind of matches my Gambus and armor.
And Reggie, remind me, what color of infernal are you? Are you pink?
I'm like lavender.
Okay.
Pale lavender. And so is Piper.
Okay.
It's important.
Oz has found a seemingly just the under robe of one of these, and it seems to. It looks like it's supposed to go over both shoulders, but he kind of has it slung over one, and so a lot of his chest is exposed, and it kind of gives a good, good opening to his back, and it will just this orange color comes in with the clasp around the shoulder, dangling a little bit because it's supposed to go over both, but down to his hip. Just this nice little clasp of just the same orange, just like this folding, kind of bunched up look, and that's mostly it. It's just tied at the waist, a very simple, just whatever simple. I mean, I can't say like a rope belt, but just a slightly classier version of that, I suppose.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
That's what I was going for too.
yeah, and that's really. It looks like there should be more. It looks like he just kind of pulls some things apart that were supposed to be together. Just a simple throw over. It's like, what do you think? Simple
Looks
enough.
pretty good.
Reminds
Looks-
me of the more coastal feel I'm used to.
I think it fits you well.
Oh, thank you. A lot of chest, though. Is that appropriate for dinner? I don't go to these.
I think it's all right.
It's
got its
I
own
don't have a
little
lot to
taste to
show
it.
off here.
Hey, I think you look good. I think you
I'm
look
not
good.
bandages over here.
That's true.
They show character.
Show character, so you covered them.
Yeah.
Yes.
You remember retroactively that the guards, when they let you in, had told you just to let them know when you were ready to go down
Yeah.
for dinner. So there's no call or anything.
All right,
So whenever
Piper.
you're prepared.
And Piper goes into her little cage, little Pokeball, and put her back.
Cage
in.
seems
Yeah,
more
I didn't mean
aggressive.
cage was a
Yeah.
tough
Case, yeah.
word. Case.
Companion case, yeah.
Her little miniature habitat.
Yeah,
She
her
goes to a
Pokemon.
little jail.
Yeah, yeah.
Her
Get
little
back in
prison.
Yeah. You boys
All
ready?
right. I think
Starving.
All right then.
Okay. You guys head to the door, and the guards escort you down. You enter the Great Hall. It's in one of those enormous crystalline spires that break up the silhouette of the castle from the exterior. The inside of the structure is completely hollowed out, but does mirror the natural shape of its exterior. The interior ceiling and walls, however, hold a permanent enchantment that projects an image of the view from high above the city, as though the floor is aloft above the castle. The sun is setting over the edge of the falls, and the mist refracts the oranges and reds of that setting sun. It's unnerving at first, but you can still make out the faint presence of the edges of the interior through the enchantment, which allows your mind to rest at ease. Your feet are still firmly on the ground. The room itself is beautiful, white stone floors with those familiar veins of precious metal patterns. Long tables fill the majority of the space with a bounty of food across all of them. The room is bustling. The community members fill the room and seem to be constantly coming and going. You see Gaxes sitting with some other individuals at a table up on an elevated stage at the front of the room. And although it's separate from the others, you notice there's no guard force, and community members often approach and chat with members at that table. You also recognize Lady Katian, who smiles warmly as she sees you being escorted in. You see some community members kind of whispering and glancing in your direction. Sort of a hush falls on the room around you as you enter. And you see Krum, who stands and leaves as he sees you arrive.
I didn't think we were stuck out too much. Perhaps I am showing too much chest.
That's what I was gonna say.
I'll like-
it was the nipple.
As you are led up to the Great Hall there, so Gaxes sees you all approaching, and he smiles and stands from the table and bows and says, "I'm so glad you could make it. It seems you found the vestments that I left for you." I'm kind of smirks. "I'm happy that you were able to make them your own. You all look wonderful. Please have a seat."
It was too much
you-
chest, I think.
You know Lady Katian? And he kind of gestures and she smiles and says, "This is my husband, Murian." And you see a heavier set pelican variant, avian, sitting next to him, who is deep in his glass, it seems, as he toasts to you with some wine. And he says, "And these are a few of our children, Maura and Taro." And you see a female Aquan with that sort of dull, ruddy, gray-brown skin with the fin going down, the crest of the head with smaller fins as ears, and then these bright kind of orange-yellow cheeks that kind of flow down the neck under the vestments. And when he gestures to Taro, you see one of those sort of hippopotamus humanoids who is sitting on two chairs, basically, next to him, wearing the same uniform you saw the guards of the wall wearing. And he introduces you to a few other political figures and some local merchants. The names start to blur after a while. But you sit down to a modest spread, very well made, but not extravagant, not roast and anything that, giant turkeys and an entire pig or anything like you may have expected back in Tolnira. A lot of seafood.
Nuts.
Some small mammals.
Yeah.
A few insects, which are off-putting maybe to some of you, but they seem well prepared. But you all sit down and you have access to your meals. There is a bard in the corner playing music. You see this elegant gray female avian with very sleek feathers, a black patch on the top of her head, and she is singing beautiful songs that seem completely disconnected from the song before, as if she can produce different voices. You see a bluish-gray crayfish who is using his large claws to hold this strange stringed instrument that his smaller arms on his chest are plucking strings on. And you see a smaller red and black humanoid amphibious creature with a tail playing a woodwind instrument. I don't want to say it's a newt with a flute, but
It's there.
Yeah, you just did.
And
Taro, how did you do that? I'm holding one of these. Crack, and then like that. All right.
Well, it's different the way I do it. My jaw is a little stronger than yours, I would imagine.
and he just throws the whole thing inside and crunches it and swallows it.
All right, you're
But
showing
yeah,
off.
that's
I
how
watched
some
you just
people
do,
do it. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but are you the group that fought the corrupted?
I suppose so. Mhm.
Your
We
prowess
fought
in
whatever
battle
those
is
things were.
legendary already. Anything that you can teach me, I would be grateful to learn. I'm a soldier myself, actually.
I thought
your
that
favorite
uniform looked
weapon?
familiar.
Sorry, what?
I thought that uniform looked familiar.
Oh, yeah, I'm a guard at the wall, though I do hope to join the raiding parties someday.
It can be dangerous out there. But
Don't
it's
get
always
ahead of
good to have
yourself
ambition.
now, Taro. Taro's a very talented soldier. He's still early in his training, though. He has a lot to learn.
Mhm.
Taro, if you're interested, he kind of gestures to Syndrix and says, "That's the one you should speak with. He has a very similar style to your own, sort of grab and tear."
There's a lot of nuance to it, but yeah.
Sometimes
Please
you
tell me
tear
all of
and
it. Tell me
grab,
all of it.
Sometimes you rip.
So, what's your favorite weapon?
I'm sort of kind of between weapons right now. I really like a warhammer or a maul, something that's got a little weight to it. But typically two-handed weapons work better. And sorry, I'm talking about me too much. I want to learn about what's your favorite weapon.
Reginald, try this.
I've got a few. Primary weapon is a
know.
longsword. It's got reach, it's sharp, and it can hit multiple targets at once.
He just pushes the food and it piles up onto his sister's plate next to him. She's like, "Ah!" And he pulls out like a little piece of parchment and just like frantically grabs his knife and dips it in some of like the sauce that's on the table and tries like writing with that because he had nothing to write down these notes with.
You can achieve a similar effect with a warhammer.
Longsword, okay. You can
By the
achieve
way-
a similar effect to a
Longsword with a warhammer? I've been doing it way wrong.
It has the same reach, and you can still hit multiple enemies at once.
okay.
Obviously not as sharp.
Tell him about
Also-
the pummel thing.
We'll get there.
So
Other
you
weapons
guys
are my
carry
favorites.
on for some time. I won't make you go through all of
Yeah.
Syndrix's vast knowledge of warfare, but The female, the sister, chimes in after that, and she looks over at you, Oz. Says, I heard tell that maybe you had some healing capabilities?
Well, some. I was a bit of a medicine man back in my hometown.
That's wonderful. I also practice medicine here.
Oh.
We
Well, I am
lost a
interested
lot
to
of
see
ground when we lost
Yes.
our mages, so if you have anything that non-magical, perhaps we could swap notes?
Oh, of course. Now, I don't have many supplies on me, but I might have to make some comparisons, see what you have available, and what the substitutes and whatnot. Right here. Come here. Here. Now we'll kind of pull out like a little booklet that's sealed well, and he'll pop it open and flip through a couple things and start asking questions about comparable herbs and similar things.
Mm-hmm. Tell me, do you have mind mist mycelium where you come from? And you guys start, swapping questions about different.
Yes, but only in the
fungi.
sky.
Yeah. References. So they carry on for some time. Reggie, you're sort of left there with Murian and Gaxes as they're discussing the events of the day. There's getting interrupted about every 5 minutes by some community member who wants to come and speak with them. And eventually, Gaxes is pulled away for something, and he says, "You'll have to excuse me, sorry." And he stands and walks off. And Murian kind of looks over at you.
I don't mean to be rude, but he tells me that you've come willingly.
That's correct.
Might I ask why?
Of course. Well, you see, where I'm from, and Tolnira is the name.
Tolnira?
Mm-hmm. There's certain, I don't know if privileges is the right word, but some have gone in to what we call the Maw. You guys call the Great Glutton, I believe. And some of them returned. It's a very little number, but when they came back with a lot of really great things. Riches, some, magic, various items. So now, all kinds of people go in. Well, that's not necessarily true. Really, only the desperate go in. Those who have a solid reason. And us three, I gesture to my two friends, we all have solid reasons.
I'm sorry if I'm pressing you. It's just that my role here in Orimundi is more of entertainment, theatrical, you might say. I am fascinated by stories, and I think they play a very important role, even in a society such as ours that's somewhat recovering. So when a new story as juicy as this comes into my lap, I can't pass it up. I have to hear the details. What would drive one to leap into the maw of an ancient being? Seek out this sort of danger. Please, tell me everything.
Well, I'll tell you, my friend here, Oz, he's the storyteller, I think. But, and then I open up my little bag and flip out a vial.
But if you want me to talk.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, you don't actually need to go into the details
okay,
as much as you'd like to, because we've sort of already, gone over what brought you guys in here.
Yep.
But whatever you would care to get across in that conversation.
I just pull out the vial and start talking about my hometown.
Everyone has their own sort of blights.
And then I'll also say, oh, by the way, and I'll kind of gesture to the music. You guys don't have a music called Golden Grass here, do you? It's kind of like folk music with a little twang to it. You don't think they could play something like that, do you?
Well, I do happen to know the band. They are
friends of mine. Like I say, I'm involved in entertainment. I could definitely see what they could do. If you could perhaps sing me a little ditty or
Well,
recreate it for me in some way. How
And,
else will I know what it is?
That's understandable. And then I'll start doing like a little very
What does it sound like?
iffy tune.
Yeah, well, go ahead.
It sounds a little bit like this. So you get out it's a stringed instrument, and I act like I'm holding like a banjo, basically.
Yeah.
And it sounds a little bit like, but you get the point, right? It's something like that. The vocals are often, and then I'll go into it more.
It sounds difficult, but I can certainly ask and see what they can do.
I love that. But I don't want to interrupt the ambiance of the place. Just if they have an extra song, or maybe a couple minutes.
Let me see what I can figure out. He stands up, kind of brushes off some crumbs from the front of his robes, and walks off. And Gaxes has come back eventually. If there's anything else you guys would like to discuss with anyone else, with either Maura or Taro, or once you guys have resolved those conversations.
A chuckle and a laugh as it seems Oz is kind of fully got this girl's attention, and he seems to be very skilled in dealing with children of all ages, young adults. He seems to have been around the block as a parent.
Very nice. During that time, that little brief period where Morium had left and Gaxes hadn't come back yet, I would like to spend that little moment looking around the room, seeing the beauty of it, and I am going to engage my God of Sage ability, my boon. Once per rest, I can remove a stress or gain a hope if I appreciate the beauty of the area around me. And
you are also in this room with the projected images of the waterfall and the forest around you. You can fully grasp what the heart of that sage boon is, which is really appreciating nature more so than architecture. Yeah. But you can still do that in this room.
Great. And I will take the hope.
Nice.
Wonderful. Eventually, more drinks are had, and Gaxes starts to loosen up a little bit. And at one point, he leans over to you, Oz, who commented on it earlier. It says, I really should apologize again for Kroom. I detest the way he's been treating you, but you have to understand that his wife was a mage. She was killed during the first incursion. These recent attacks, they've put him on edge. He's a good man, and he cares deeply for Oramundi.
Well, I certainly can respect that. If you can think of any way that we can avoid stepping on his fins, right? His catfish guy?
He does have digits. Step on his toes is also a phrase in our culture.
Well, fair enough.
He does. To explain his anatomy further, so you have a better image. Kroom is tall-ish. He's probably about 6'5", but very wide. So like thick-bodied, solid, like a dwarf that's just scaled way up. He has effectively no neck, big, thick catfish head with this giant mouth and the big kind of mustache that trails off of it. Like shorter, wider arms and legs, but he does have humanoid arms and legs. And then a big, almost fish-like tail that's still very short. It doesn't like trail off behind him, but kind of just arcs out from where his butt would be, basically.
I was kind of envisioning that catfish guy from. Is it from League?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Whatever
Tom
his name
Kench. Yeah.
Yeah, Kench.
Another
okay.
IP. Yeah. Yeah, similar. Similar
Okay.
for sure. That's not too far off. That's a good analogy. A little more humanoid, but
Yeah.
yes.
I was getting that kind of basic anatomy. That's what I was pulling from.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But yes, if we could find a way to avoid upsetting the man, I'm sure he works a stressful job.
It's not your fault. That's the point of what I'm saying. You don't need to change anything. You're doing fine. He will get upset at the fact that you're outsiders alone. He's been difficult lately, but as I say, he's taking things very seriously, which we all should be. Anyway, I'm perhaps revealing too much about somebody else's business. Not to make
I appreciate
excuses, but for more context.
Thank you.
We do appreciate your help in this.
Well, I mean, I understand. We haven't done a whole lot yet. But I've heard a lot more about this lungwort now. We have similar things.
Yes,
but-
you spoke with Maura.
Yes.
She's a very talented healer.
I was impressed by her knowledge.
We're very proud of her.
You should be.
Our children, their parents were also mages, biological parents. We adopted them when they were taken. This also is very close to them, so you wouldn't mind treading lightly.
Of course.
But Maura has made us very proud, as has Taro. We have another son. He should be floating around here somewhere. He's much more organized than the other two. Morian, have you seen Cassell? Why, yes, I think he's helping out with the cook's organizational things, you know. Perhaps he'll make his appearance at some point, but they've all become staples in our community and done very well for themselves, and I'm blabbering on about my children. This is embarrassing. We've only just met.
Oh, no, don't worry about it. I can actually draw some comparisons.
Really?
Oh, yes. No, it's actually quite interesting. We have the same spread. Yes. I have 2 sons and a daughter.
You... Forgive me. You have children.
I do.
He, leans way in. This sounds horrible for me to say. But you left them.
I did. They're adults. They have their own families. And I'm not the same man I was. I left them years ago. Not physically, but spiritually. And honestly, and I'll kind of glance past him to look at, I don't actually write his name, Morny?
Morian, the husband?
Morian. I'll look past and look at Morian as he's into his drink. I'll kind of look back to him. Then I hope you won't have to experience anything similar anytime soon.
You see him kind of slowly put the pieces together.
so sorry. I can't imagine.
Well, I don't even want you to linger on it.
This community has known much loss. I have somehow been fortunate. To get to the point where you are looking to start over or leave things behind. Not an unfamiliar sentiment around here, but I cannot imagine what you've gone through.
Well, there's a difference, I suppose. In here, since we're being a little honest, it feels a bit like a cage. Where I left my family, they're free. There's no imminent danger at the gates. What they have to worry about most is whether the sea brings in a storm. And
The
I
sea
know
brings in much darker things here. But you're right, and that is not lost on me. I have this same conversation with Kroom. We have different opinions on the balance between safety and freedom. But that is what we plan to do together. Make this less of a cage. Allow these people to explore the beautiful world around us. And again, I am making things darker than they need to be. I think it's time we dance. And he stands up. And you see, as this is happening, Murian kind of leans up against Cindrix next to him and says,
You know, Gaxis, he is a very talented actor. His family was actually very involved in the theater before the assimilation. They found themselves taking more serious roles in the community thereafter, but he never lost his spark for storytelling and the power of comedy and escape. He's quite funny. He tells he has a great tight 10. I'm sure if you get him drunk enough, he'll dive into it. But people need this. They need release. They need escape. Do you know what I mean, Kendricks?
The whole time that you were talking to Cindrix, he is locked in an arm wrestle with Taro. But he's still, listening. He's like...
And with that, we need the first roll of this session. We're going to just do... Do you have a D20?
I do.
I don't know how we do this, because I use a D20 for my rolls.
Oh, for a contested
Why don't we just do... We're just going to do duality dice. And we're going to do highest number, but if you succeed with hope or fear, it will determine a different outcome.
Okay. It's like I break his arm if I succeed with fear.
Oh no! Get out!
Oh shit. Am I adding strength to this?
Yeah.
That is a 23 with fear.
Oh man, that's the
His-
highest you could do.
Is a 13 with fear.
I'll say, narratively, I'm
Oh,
listening.
shit.
Yeah.
That's the highest roll you could do, but just
And
with
then once
fear.
I realize he's talking to me, I'm like, oh, I gotta wrap this up.
So as this is happening, you just hear your name pronounced incorrectly at the end, and the rest of you can feel, you hear like some creaking, and you feel the table almost like move. Oz, as you're going to stab something on your plate, it just moves out of the way of your fork, and you go to try to get it again, and the table keeps shifting back and forth. And you look down to see, these two behemoths locked in mortal combat. Until Syndrix, you hear your name pronounced incorrectly, and with that moment, you turn your head like, "Oh shit, was he talking to me?" And you just like almost shift like Taro out of his chair, and the whole table slides about a foot to the left, as all of the food and drinks on that side of Taro's arm are launched. And you look just in time to see Murian, who's leaned up against you talking, just get coated in food and drink. He's going to go ahead and make a reaction roll here. And you see his giant pelican beak open up and try to catch as much of it. Just like, he sees the flash and it's just instinct. He just like, he catches a big chunk of the food and some of the drink in his mouth. As there's this big commotion and there's like silence around you guys for a second before everyone erupts into laughter as you have handedly defeated a hippo in an arm wrestling match at the mere cost of dousing his adopted father in food and drink. So you guys stand and you're led out onto the dance floor, if you choose to accept. Otherwise, you can stay seated.
I'm going out there.
And as you do so, anybody else care to join?
Yeah. Syndrix, go.
Your legs don't work like they used to, old man. I'll get up and walk to the dance floor.
All right, you guys get out onto the dance floor. And they play a song that is completely unfamiliar to you. Everyone else seems to know exactly the steps. So everyone gets into these lines and you try to jump into position and try to keep up. But both of you are met by an individual who tries to guide you through. I'm going to need you both to roll.
Just a reaction?
Let's make this let's make so we don't just drum up the hope and fear. Let's roll. No, actually, I do want to make this an action because I think it determines how successful you are.
All right.
You're going to let's do presence. This is a performance.
Okay.
So we're going to do presence rolls for both of you.
It's not good.
That is a 20 with fear.
Oh, wait! I crit. I rolled double.
No way!
I freaked out. I rolled double ones, I freaked out. I was like, no.
All right. So, yeah, the person that is leading Reggie. Reggie, you do a good job of falling into place. You do step on their toes a couple times, and so that person, like, the first time is like, oh, it's no problem, and then by the end they're like, kind of like, like tears while they're smiling at you. But from the outside, Oz, he looks like he does a pretty good job. He successfully sort of stays in step.
Better than
the
I
cost
could
of a few toenails, not bad. Now, Syndrix. Halfway through the dance, Syndrix starts to lead. He picks up the person that was guiding him, and like a daddy-daughter dance, just kind of carries them with him as he sort of drifts into the center and a circle starts to form around him as the big finish of the song ends with him dipping his partner and then picking them up and spinning them out. Syndrix, you have no idea what the fuck happened. You blacked out halfway through that song and battle. Your instincts took over. Yeah.
So you guys see that same, like, face that Syndrix has in battle take over. Like, you see the moment where he switches and then just starts to
The dancing.
go unconscious. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
steps of war.
Yeah.
Right. And then after that song concludes, there's applause and they bow, and you hear the singer step forward and say, "I'm sorry if I do this incorrectly, but I'll give it my best go." And then she opens her mouth, and you just hear straight bluegrass start pouring out. Nobody's touching an instrument. It's just coming out of her throat. Like, just mimicking what she assumes you're discussing, of just banjo and harmonica and some real diddly dee 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 dee.
Yeah.
And this time, no roll needed. A circle opens up, and Reggie steps into the middle and gives a incredible rendition of Cotton Eye Joe.
Come on now.
Yeah.
I let out Piper, and she's on my shoulder, doing it with me.
Doing the exact step. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. But the rest of the night goes off without a hitch. You guys have a good time. You drink as much as you'd like to, eat as much as you'd like to. You meet some community members. Occasionally, you'll catch somebody kind of giving you a stink eye, or getting upset and storming out. But for the most part, you're well received, and this is a pretty warm community. Is there anything anybody else would like to accomplish throughout the rest of the night before you return to your bed?
I will ask a question to whoever you deem appropriate about just the level of arcane in the air.
Yeah.
Is that
Whoever you'd
natural,
like to
normal
ask.
thing?
But
Yeah.
effectively, the answer comes as they don't know what you're talking about. They've
Fair
been
enough.
raised in this their whole lives. They don't know any different. But you know that this was once a very powerful magocracy, and this whole community was shaped by pretty advanced magics. Just the construction of the buildings alone kind of indicates that. They've hinted at this vast library and
Yes.
magical knowledge, but they've sort of been avoiding it as of late. So yeah, you're unsure.
Okay. I guess the one I'd probably ask would be Catian on that one.
Yes, Lady Catian
Yeah.
explains.
Yeah.
Also, explains any other missing information or confusing details about the history or anything you'd like to get from that.
Yeah. Yeah,
She's pretty mild-mannered and
Mhm.
not as prone to drinking and frivolity as
Right.
The rest of them. So not as fun to talk to later in the night, and does dip out pretty early. But earlier, before everyone gets pretty drunk, she is a good source of information.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
All right. Then, if there's nothing else, you guys make it back to the room and you retire for the evening. All right. Shall we pick up there then?
146.
Sounds
Yes.
good. Oh, long rests.
Long
Is
rest.
it just everything?
No.
It is similar.
I believe you get to pick
There's
two,
a
but they
page.
fully clear.
Yeah,
Okay.
so tend all wounds,
Instead of
clear all
rolling.
stress, repair all armor,
Or two hope.
prepare
Or work on a project.
to work on a project.
Yes. Which I got a lot of information about the
one marked
herbs of
hit.
the area. So,
And I roll fear.
ooh.
No.
D4 plus the
Gain
number of
all
party
armor
members, I
back.
believe.
I'm gonna get my
Just made a
god
long-
armor slot because it's a long rest.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Nice.
So I
If
will
it-
say a silent prayer before bed to the god of valor to protect myself and give me the power to protect these other companions that I'm growing close to.
Very nice. Well,
I'm also going to prepare.
1 second.
So
I would like to prepare with you. If you'd want
okay,
to.
that means we each gain 6 hope.
Wait.
I don't think that's correct.
Yeah, I think it's 2
I'm just
though.
kidding. Yeah, we each get 2. How do we want to prepare together?
I would say that we are reviewing those.
The tape.
Reviewing the tape. No, we're reviewing those
Watching film.
team attacks that we practiced back in God's Goal,
Ah, yep. Okay.
which we do have some.
Yeah, I haven't even heard of them yet, so I'm excited to see them.
Yeah.
Hello again. Okay.
Oh no, it's Travis.
Did you guys? What'd you guys do for your rest?
We prepared together by reviewing our team attacks that we practiced back in God's Gullet.
Then I guess I'll remove my last, or my first hit point.
I don't even have. I need to establish a project.
I'm fully fresh and ready to murder.
Oh, actually, is that Can I also generate hope? Is that what you guys did?
Yes.
Yeah, by
And-
preparing.
I mean, honestly, yes. And if you prepare together, which you could be in with us,
Yeah.
just practicing our tag team moves.
Okay. I'll
so you can
participate
oversee
and
it. Yeah.
remind you guys of those nasty.
Yeah,
little
you were
comments.
watching us. You're like, no, you did it like this last
Well,
time.
maybe Oz is the one that calls it out, and then we
There
activate
we
it.
go.
That's
that
true.
could be part of it.
It's like
I help a little bit.
kind of like the field general, where you're always just examining, and you're like,
Yeah.
play two. You hold up two.
Yeah. Everyone's doing different signals, so you don't know which is which.
Perfect.
And you get 2 hope whenever you prepare
Solid.
with somebody.
All right.
Is that different on a long rest than a short rest?
It is
No.
actually the one thing that is the same.
It kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I'm glad it's not, frankly.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, you guys make your way back up to your comfortable beds, and you have a good night's rest. If you chose to drink more than you're used to, then maybe you wake up feeling slightly worse than average, but they do meet you with some simple things for breakfast in the room. It's not a feast again, but enough to get you moving in the morning. And eventually you're brought back to Gaxie's office. And he's sitting on the other side, very formally now. He says,
Good morning.
Good
I
morning.
hope you all enjoyed yourselves last night. It was quite fun.
It was a great time.
I feel like we did fail to discuss the Venatora, so perhaps we should do that now before you leave.
Yes.
Other things were on the mind.
yes. He kind of smiles at you.
It
Oh.
was a very nice time, and I appreciate. Anyway, the Venatora. It's perhaps the size of. To compare it to a creature would be fruitless, as I don't know what creatures you have on your world.
What about that? Is it like that boar size? That
Shorter,
shorter?
but yes. Long-bodied and stout. It has sturdy clawed legs that run the length of its long, gray and black scaled, spined body. At the front, a large head with a jaw that can unhinge to open its mouth to a size well beyond its own width. Rows of jagged teeth that become progressively wider and less sharp as you go deeper into its maw. Caustic saliva, which helps it break down and grind up stony flesh. It has a long appendage that projects from its head and holds an enchantment. If you succumb to it, it shows you exactly what you are searching for. What that is depends on the person. It lures you in close enough so that you can see the large, clouded eyes that, given enough time, will start to turn your flesh to stone. It has a natural camouflage that makes it nearly invisible when sitting still. And it moves just as easily on land as it does in the water. Also of note, it has somewhat of a symbiotic relationship with stone wraiths. Quadrupedal stone creatures that can meld in and out of, well, stone, minerals. They're ambush predators, but often if they're found around the Venator, which we have reports that they have been, they sort of clean up the scraps.
Do they have a weakness?
Well, knowing about it is sort of the greatest tool I can provide you. It doesn't have necessarily a natural weakness, but it is an ambush predator. It relies on catching something off guard. If you succumb to its lure, then it's probably too late.
And we're walking into its lair.
As I said, the risk didn't justify it previously, but I've seen you in combat. You are masters. Also, these things were handled previously by our warriors. It is possible. If you kill them quickly, you won't have to worry about the gaze any longer. Don't allow it a lot of breathing room.
So, Sindrix, go for the eyes.
Got it.
Is there anything else that I can help you with?
Yeah, actually, I have a question. I don't know if this relates to the Venatora, but when we were fighting those beasts out there, it seemed like the winged one was maybe controlling the big boar or something like that. Do you know how that works?
From what we know, first, I can't be clear enough that the Venatora is in no way related to the corruption or the corrupted. I would never send you alone on a mission that involved that.
Okay.
As I mentioned previously, they do seem to have some sort of intelligence and strategic capabilities. As far as a hierarchy or a power dynamic, it's been hard to understand. They do often seem to act very organized and strike as a unit. It makes sense that this would come from some chain of command.
Okay. Do the Venatora, does that have a level of intelligence to it? I suppose probably if it has that
Well,
appendage.
the
It
ambush,
is.
it's symbiotic with stone wraiths and is territorial. So,
It seemed more bestial.
Indeed. It is perhaps more strategic in a instinctual sense, if that makes sense. It has a more complex approach as a predator, but it does not act with the same intelligence that the corrupted do.
I have one more question. If one of us succumbs to its lure and starts seeing things, is there anything any of the others can do to snap us out of it? Like, I don't
That's a
know,
good
does
question.
Sindrix need to punch me in the face or something?
Well, I would hate to rob Sindrix of that opportunity, as it seems he is quite eager to do so. But I know not of any way.
Okay.
From my understanding, and mind you, I haven't fought one personally, but they are well known amongst our people. It is not a permanent illusion.
Hmm.
Just means to get you closer, to lure you
I
in.
see. I see.
So it may not be a possibility to interrupt that process, or if you can get to them quick enough, perhaps it is. I leave that up to you.
Okay. Anything else, boys?
Well, aside from pointing us in the right direction and getting us back through the wall, I suppose. Nothing right
Naturally.
now.
Of course. Okay, well then, genuinely, I wish you the best of luck. And I hope to see you soon. If it comes to a point where you feel that the battle is lost, please retreat. This is not worth losing your lives over. We can find another way to gain the Longward.
I think we can handle that.
Oh, in your
You could tell Cindrix didn't like that.
Yeah.
I did ask your doctor a little bit about the lungwort, but if you have a etching or something of the sort.
Of course. He
Yes.
gestures and one of the guards leaves. Lady Catian, I'm sure, has something to
Perfect.
provide you. And shortly thereafter, you're provided a sketch and sort of a breakdown of where it grows,
Oh, perfect.
what to look out for. And you do note there's a few applications of it on the page as well, for your knowledge.
Oh, this is similar to X and Y.
Yeah. And with that, you guys are escorted out to the wall, unless there was something else you'd like to do. And the wall is opened, and the bridge is extended, and you are set out once again into the city.
And can you remind me?
Ah,
This is a lower question.
Yeah.
Why are we getting the lugwort? It's to cure.
It can help
No,
us breathe underwater, and we're
Ah,
going to need
yes,
that
yes,
for the
yes,
next step.
yes. Okay.
it's like we're acquiring the dungeon item,
Yeah.
or like the
Yes.
boss
Got it.
key.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I just forgot I was.
Borderline
Underwater.
tick down on the Travis clock. Borderline tick down.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
wasn't a
That's a
criticism.
half turn.
It's
It wasn't
quite
a
structured.
criticism. It wasn't a criticism, but he did break the fourth wall. In
That's a
character,
half turn.
kind of.
It wasn't in character
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, okay. You're right. No tick down, but it was close.
Okay, all right.
Dangerous.
Official review.
No good.
Okay. Anywho, yes, it's exactly that. To so that you can breathe underwater, to participate in the raid. Also, he did mention that there are medicinal herbs that they haven't had access to because of the Venatora's presence there.
Yeah.
So you are still doing, it's like kind of proving yourselves,
Yeah.
doing a service to the community, and also you do kind of need it. Maybe you could have found it elsewhere, but this is also kind of beneficial to them. So, two birds, one stone, and all that. So yeah, you're led to the wall, and you're led out back into the city. You obviously are pointed in the right direction. They indicate where the botanical district or the botanical sector was to you. And I'll say, Oz, you remember from when you were in your heron form, one of the districts does stand out as matching the description of this botanical sector, which is this enormous dome that essentially takes up an entire one of these districts. You had a hard time making it out because a good chunk of it was covered in vines and overgrown to the point where it sort of almost looked like a mountain from a distance, but matches the description, and you do kind of remember where that was roughly. So you guys make your way through the city. Along the way, you do notice more of the herbivore dinosaurs, like a few Stegosaurus, a small group of Triceratops. And eventually, as you get closer, you start to see, well, the first thing that you notice is the dome cresting above the skyline ahead of you. As you get closer, you notice the glass that's still present, some of the panes of glass that have remained despite the time. You also notice several of them shattered out, and the vines that grow over roughly half of it.
Oh, I bet the birds would love that.
And as you get closer, You approach the entrance that was described to you by Gaxes. You see half grown over with vines, but a passable entrance. Outside of it, what looks at first like rubble, and you then notice as you get closer, statues? Statues of dinosaurs of varying sizes just outside the mouth. And
All right.
crumbled pieces at their feet. Those that are more observant, probably Oz. You notice in some of those chunks of what looks like rubble at first, you see almost decayed flesh inside a shell, this casing of stone. Like it doesn't turn them completely. It just sort of preserves them.
That's horrifying.
Let's take a moment. Before we go in,
Your
let's
screen
talk a
froze when you said that on my end, and that was like, you stopped time. You were like, let's take a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does
and then you
that
told
count
me.
as breaking the fourth wall?
No, that
Ooh.
one's good. That's just a good bit. Time manipulation for a bit is exactly how it should be used.
Yeah.
but yes, let's take a quick moment to come up with a strategy, battle plan. It seems like the best move is to go as quickly as possible with this thing.
I
Or
agree.
put it to sleep.
I could try.
No idea if that'll work or not. And it's probably we have to kill the thing anyway, so it might just be a better idea to just go full aggression.
Right. We have to lure it out somehow if that's the case.
That's true. And I'll tell you, in order for me to put it to sleep, I gotta be real close. And makes me a little nervous.
We'll focus on aggression.
Okay.
Now, it was slightly smaller than that boar creature, so I might have option with Tooth and Claw to help out if we're going as quick as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's the battle plan, Reginald?
Well, thanks for deferring to me for this.
I was
I say
mostly
we-
asking for your input.
Oh, okay. Let's rush in, kill it, rush out.
Right, your participation.
Oh, I understand now. I'm gonna stay in the back this time, and use some spells that are more distance and berate it as quick as I can.
All right.
I'm afraid of what it's gonna make me see, although I think I know, and I don't want to mess with that. So I'm gonna try not to be seen by this thing. We're directly in its line.
Yes. Cindrix?
Yes, I like your line of thinking. You need to be the aggressor. Now, assuming we haven't already fallen into its trap, we gotta figure out where this thing is and how to get it out to a vulnerable point where we can attack them. I don't know if we're gonna get that opportunity. We might have to, go into the mouth of the beast, quite literally. Which, on a side note, I am genuinely worried it will eat me. And I don't know if I'll be able to cut my way out if that's the case. So I'm gonna try and be a little more dexterous this time around.
All right.
And remember what Gaxi said. If things go south, we run.
Yes. Now, I believe I will also be getting up close and personal with this thing. So, and I'll pull out a charm you're very familiar with at this point, Reginald. as I'll hand you that half a clam shell with the pearl kind of embedded into it.
Woo. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. It's apparently it has those smaller symbiotic creatures that will like to pick at the scraps. But there's a chance they might see a single target and go after them. So be prepared for that if need be.
All right. Surely they won't go after me. I'm the strongest one of us. I'm just kidding. I
As you say.
nudge Cindrix.
Do you want to arm wrestle?
No, I saw what you did to that hippo, man. And I think you would literally rip my arm off.
Now, how does that
Uh,
mental connection of yours work?
Well, I can pick one of you two, just one at a time, and I can open a line that can stay open as long as I want it to. You thinking of opening one?
I may sneak in to see if I can't perceive something.
Okay. Well, let's do it. And
it's a good
I like
idea.
knock my staff on the ground and it lights up purple for a second, and I spend a hope and open a line of telepathy. And then in your head you hear, and that does it right there.
Excellent. Is there a range I should be worried about? I don't plan on going too far.
That's a good question. I've never really tested it that far. The card says you can open a mental communication with one target you can see. So does that mean I need to... It's unclear if that means I need to see them to start it, or if I have to see them the whole time.
How long does it last?
Until our next rest, or if I cast it again on someone else.
Oh,
I think it's just
yeah.
don't be an asshole rules.
Yeah, makes sense to
All
me.
right. Yep. Actually, me and Cindrix did this back in God's Gullet, and we were decent ways apart, so I think it'll be safe.
All right. All right, good to know, good to know.
Hey, remember, Reggie, make sure you give him warning next time you're about to
That's
invade
right.
his mind.
Well, I did a little more subtle this time, based on your feedback.
Telepathy consent is important, for sure.
Yes.
All right. Well, here I go then. Terror of the jungle. And I will kind of fall forward as my back kind of arches out and fur kind of tufts around as I just quickly morph into a jaguar.
Oh,
Noise.
And you can
Yeah.
see the spots on the back are kind of pushed out as if the small chunks of shell still kind of like kind
That's
of
cool.
all fail to fully
Like it's underneath the
yeah.
the fur.
that's cool.
Cool.
If I ever fought with a heron too, the legs would have been shown to have parts of the shell. But anyway, didn't happen. Thank goodness.
Yet, yeah.
Yeah. So, while in the pouncing predator form, I have advantage on sneak checks.
Ooh.
Nice.
So I'm going to go ahead and sneak my way in to see if I, just don't immediately get ambushed and mauled. Oh, I did horrible. Oh, advantage. That's right. It's actually good. It is with fear though. I think. Oh, I get instinct on that. Interesting. Okay. Well, it looks like that's just going to end up being
Buzz, the
a.
music just got way more creepy. Be careful in there.
Is sneak agility?
Sneak is finesse.
Finesse? Oh,
Yep.
okay. Well, that's better then. It's a 12 with fear.
12 with fear. I will take that fear. I also, full transparency, did roll for fear for your long rest, and I got 4.
Nice.
Oh,
And I regain 1 for each of you, so I gained 7 fear overnight.
oh my gosh. What's your max that you can
It's
hold?
12, right?
That's messed up.
And I have 9.
That was not cool, dude.
Well,
You make your way through, slinking from shadow to shadow. First thing you notice as you enter is this place is enormous. The first scene that you see is sort of hilled with mostly moss-covered hills, trees growing from them, a thick underbrush. Unsure what was there before, what was there post, but easy for you to slink through. As you crest over one of the hills, you notice, after getting a better vantage, that this place probably once housed a variety of biomes. They're somewhat separated but kind of blend into each other. And B, the thick underbrush and the overgrown nature of its current state makes it difficult to pass through. There are also canals that weave between each biome. Similar to the moat in the palace, they don't go deep enough to reach the river itself, but a form of irrigation, and probably was once calming, though now it's pretty disgusting looking and just another possibility for where this beast could be.
What you seen in there, Oz?
Not much so far. I'm gonna try to see if I can't spot anything. Like
Yeah,
give
go ahead
hints.
and make an instinct roll.
Oh well, that's a very good roll, but also with fear.
Oh, this is what happened to us last time too.
Yeah.
He maxes at 12, so
Another dried edamame for me. Thank you very much.
that is going to be a 22.
That's really
That's
good.
a seaborn
22.
token for you there.
You see, from this vantage that you've gained, well, actually, we'll say you go deeper. Explore a little deeper in. Eventually, you find a pretty tall tree, which you would imagine is semi-centrally. In your jaguar state, it's easy enough for you to climb the tree and get to a branch where you slink down and hug tight to it in the shadows. And as you look out over the rest of these gardens, you see nothing. And then movement. And you immediately lock on to that as you see in one of the areas there is still some exposed stone. And you see sitting or lying down, not dissimilar to how you are currently, on one of those stony outcroppings. You see a quadrupedal, almost canine, actually probably closer to feline, probably closer to your own anatomy, but thicker, made of stone, with jagged teeth. And it just seems to be almost like a lion statue just sitting and waiting. Its head kind of slowly turns.
Okay, but
I'm gonna need you to make an instinct reaction roll.
all right. Reaction, yes.
Yes. So no hope
That's-
or fear
yeah.
gained.
That's going to be 16.
Nice.
16.
That's good.
You, in the corner of your eye, see a flash of light, a burst of light. Not as dramatic as a flashbang, but definitive. And like a camera goes off almost. Your eyes shoot over and you feel like your vision starts to cloud and distort, and you shake your head and you snap out of it. You glance back over and you see that same figure sink down into the stone. It turns its head and sinks down into the stone. And you look back for this flash and you're trying to trace where it could have come from. You see nothing.
Well, it's around somewhere.
Are you saying this via
Yes,
Link?
totally.
Yeah. Okay. What do you mean?
I caught a glimpse of something.
Okay.
Is it a different creature? I'm assuming it didn't match the description. The stone creature. Yeah. A different creature seemed to be sinking into the stone.
Was it one of those stone wraiths?
Might have been this symbiotic entity. Oh, bigger than I anticipated.
Oh. You
But I caught a
need
flash.
us in there? A flash, okay.
And my vision began to cloud, but I shook it off. However, I've not yet located where it came from.
Okay, I'll tell you, I don't like the sound of that. You want us to come in there?
That might be the move.
Okay.
I can
Wanna-
tell you generally where it is if you want to walk into its trap.
Perhaps we act like we don't know it's coming.
I'm relaying this to Cindrix
Yes,
as
of
this
course.
is happening. Yeah.
I see.
If you walk into its trap, I could flank from the rear.
Did it try to lure you? To ask him if it
I
tried
don't-
to lure him.
Did it try to lure you?
I don't believe it did intentionally, because it didn't try to follow up. But I guess I caught sight of it out of the corner of my eye.
Okay. Well, we could certainly come to you, or you could backtrack and come to us and we could all go in together. I like your idea, but makes us a little vulnerable. If you even just glimpsed it and started to get blurry vision, what's going to happen if it comes at full force?
Well, you can draw its attention, and then I can attack from the safe backside.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And then you hit it, it lets us go. Well,
Yes.
maybe. Okay.
If we can bounce its vision back and forth, we'll put us in a better position.
Cindrix, what do you think?
Cause a distraction? I can do that.
Well, there you go.
All
I'm
right?
pretty quiet when I need to be, so maybe we walk in, split directions, and you be the decoy.
Just don't get caught alone.
Yeah.
Well, I think what Reggie just described was me getting caught alone.
Well,
I think he's more saying
I've
for me.
seen you up close and personal with something.
I think
and
I have an
besides-
idea for myself.
I have your back,
All right,
as you have mine. Tunk,
let's
tunk.
do this.
All right. We'll start going in, and I'm going to activate Lightfoot, which means my movement is naturally silent, and I have advantage without being heard.
All right. I should say that I don't think anyone's used expertise since we've started this game. So if anybody has relevant expertise at any point,
Oh,
remember that those are
experience?
things you can use.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
sorry. Different game. But yeah.
I've been paying attention. I just haven't had an opportunity.
Yeah, because we don't have freaking hope ever. 'Cause, like,
Yeah, that's also true.
Now,
I
I
do
made,
finally have some hope.
I made reference to mine, so with experienced parent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
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 there you go.
No, I like roleplay wise. I think you guys have done wonderfully. I just mean, I
Yeah.
don't think anyone's ever
To
rolled
actually
with
use it.
experience
Yeah.
bonus. Yeah.
you're right.
As long as you just
I,
keep bringing them back to the front of your mind. I have no idea what you guys' experiences are. I didn't write them down. I mean, they're somewhere, but I don't have them handy.
Yeah.
So,
It's not convenient.
yes.
When
my
we go
age.
in and we split, I would like to attempt casting illusion. I'll find a spot in some flora and attempt a casting illusion, which is a spell casting roll with a difficulty of 14. Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I will say this first. You need to
Mhm.
roll stealth checks if you're planning to go in
That's
quietly,
true.
and we'll see how
You're
far
right.
we get.
So
Also, quick, is anybody else experiencing any lag, or am I laggy or blurry to you guys?
everything looks and has
You're
been
good.
looking good.
Colby had a little moment.
Yeah.
All three of you are lagging for me, so I don't know where that's coming from. But as long as it doesn't come out on the on you guys' end, then that's
Yeah.
fine. Okay,
Yeah, I think it's good.
Travis will edit later. But,
Travis, edit all that out.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So stealth checks from you both. Finesse.
So
Yes.
I don't necessarily. I'm not being stealthy.
Did you say that? Are you saying this after you rolled poorly?
I haven't
No.
rolled yet.
Oh, okay. I thought this was like, well, hear me out.
No.
Oh, that's a crit.
Bad roll. Oh.
Oh, okay.
Double
Oh,
one.
that's a 3!
You also rolled level 1. Nice.
All right, double ones. Okay, and so Syndrix, you're not going stealthily. You're going.
I
Making
have
moves.
a way I'm gonna play this out,
Nice.
but that's fair. Do you want me to do it now, or do you want to describe stealth first?
If you don't plan to do anything that would require a roll before he is going to stealth in and try his thing, then we'll allow his thing to resolve first. If you want to go in guns blazing right away, he won't have time to do his thing.
Yeah.
So then we
That's
do
what
need
I'm
to
saying,
have
yeah.
you
Let's
just
say,
do that first. So what's
we
the order?
decided before.
Let's spotlight Reggie here.
Okay, so Reggie, you rolled a crit. You nimbly. You're familiar with the forest. This may be a strange forest to you, but the same principles apply. You deftly weave between the underbrush, not even disturbing the grass on which you tread. What was it that you wanted to accomplish?
I will walk into a maybe dense looking flora, like a bush, and I'm going to cast illusion, and on a success I create a temporary visual illusion no larger than myself within close range that lasts as long as I look at it, and it holds up scrutiny against an observer until they're within melee range.
Okay,
And there's
what are
a-
you making it look like?
I'll roll it first, see if I succeed.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
I think you
I'm
would
gonna make it look like the
attempt it
bush.
either way.
yeah, you're right. So I'm gonna try to make it look like the bush. So I like sink back into it, and then it covers me and just takes place of it.
So you're just making yourself invisible via illusion.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
Like I'm stepping into a bush, and then so I'm already a little obscured, and then I'm putting an illusion around it to make it perfect.
Just look
So
like the
you
bushes.
can-
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. There's a roll required? Is there a
Yeah, it says
established DC
14.
with the spell? Okay.
Yeah,
So
14.
go ahead and roll that.
Okay.
I
Is
believe-
that a
what was the crit
reaction
for?
roll?
That is
No.
exactly a 14.
Nice. You've done it.
Nice.
And is that a reaction roll, or do we get resources from this roll?
It says make a spellcast roll. So I
Okay,
guess.
so then yeah.
So I'm confused. If this is a
I guess you're gonna-
spellcast roll and it's an illusion, like you would normally be casting this on an adversary
No, it's like a cast on myself.
It's just whether you succeed or
or
not.
against your own.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
can't do it infinitely in combat, basically. Because
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you
Okay.
can't fail at something, you could just keep doing it in combat, I guess.
Yeah.
What did you roll with
I
fear?
was
or
with hope. I was hope.
Okay, great. So you can get a hope.
Finally.
And you do, as you described, you step into a bush that's big enough to fit you, and you just like Harry Potter invisibility cloak. The bush goes right back to where it was before you were there.
Yeah, there we go. I was thinking like Assassin's Creed.
It's actually, I feel like more like when the trope in a heist movie where they put like the bug on the camera and it loops the footage of the hallway before they were in it. You're sort of just like looping the footage of the bush before you entered it.
Yep.
Okay. Syndrix. Reggie has effectively disappeared.
Yep.
Oz is a jaguar somewhere deep in the forest in front of you. What's your play here?
I look over, I see Reggie disappear. Like, alright, that's my cue. I'm gonna just walk right in down the main path. Yeah. Gah! Smells like shit in here. And I go, guess I'll just keep walking. And better get really deep into the heart of this place. And I'm gonna draw my sword. Hold my sword out. For no
Just
reason
like
at all.
this.
Yeah.
And I go, but I'm still vulnerable because I'm careless.
I hope nothing bad happens to me.
Yeah.
And I go,
Okay, as this happens,
and I kind of like look around.
sure you look around. Oz, from your vantage point with your perception check from earlier, you see near to where you are, just beneath you, you hear some rustling. As soon as you hear Syndrix shouting in the distance, obviously. You hear some rustling and you see that same creature step out from a bush and then step onto an exposed stone and just sink right back into it. You also see across the channel another figure that kind of steps out to where the other one was previously. You look in this direction and sink down into the stone. And you now hear the rustling of what you assume is a much bigger creature.
Whose idea was this?
Very nearby where you were. Previously, even with your high roll, you saw nothing. Now you see the shifting of the brush. You see even one of the like medium-sized trees kind of turn, like shift, and shake, come back to a rest. As you can see, kind of almost slithering in a serpentine pattern through the underbrush. A disturbance. You can't make out the form, but
All right.
you can be pretty safe in assuming.
Yeah, I'll relay everything to Reginald.
All right.
It's like, well, all right. What's your plan?
Notably-
Second now.
Notably, Reggie is now not in a position to tell Syndrix any of this.
Exactly.
So the only two people with the walkie-talkies are not involved in the human decoy plot at all.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, I don't know if we really thought this through all the way before we went in.
You didn't tell me anything. What was your plan?
Yeah. Well, Syndrix
I hope
is.
I don't get ambushed.
I hear Syndrix. Are you not with him?
No, I'm completely hidden right now.
Reggie, is that you in the bushes?
Hey,
Just over
hey.
there.
What is he
And
doing
I'm clearly
now?
not talking to you. I'm like,
Oh.
wait, or is that you over there?
Well,
Okay, you can come out now.
do I have an estimate on how far Syndrix is from me?
You are in far range.
Far range?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We'll say, Reggie, you are in still close range. He's just stumbled up the path a little bit further than you are. And as you guys are discussing this via your mental walkie-talkies, Syndrix, I need you to make an instinct reaction roll.
Cindric's realizing things are about to go down. He's gonna close his eyes. He's gonna take a deep breath. He's gonna go into his zone. And he's going to roll a 21.
Hey!
Wow.
And I'm gonna,
A 21.
whatever's happening, I'm gonna counter it with my sword.
It looked at you. Ah!
As you're
Breaks the line of
walking
sight.
through, doing your bit, you hear nothing aside from a slight rustle. You turn your head to look at it, and you see a flash in front of you that blinds you. Not like a flashbang, you're not completely disoriented, but like you were looking at oncoming traffic and they flash their brights at you. It washes over you and your eyes go dark for a moment before you blink. And by the time you realize what's happening, you're already in a battle stance. Your body just took over. Instinct put you up in a defensive stance. Now sword drawn and prepared, back away from whatever this suspected danger is. As you now see your vision clearing. Two faces. Stone feline faces peering out from the shadows in front of you before one leaps. You are going to count as ambushed here. And this is an event that allows me to take the spotlight first, immediately upon one of the enemies, and also I gain 2 fear,
Oh man.
which is perfect
He's-
to max me out at
I
12
was gonna
feet.
say he's max.
Guys, this could be a short fight and not in a good way.
Well,
To be
Have
fair,
isn't so far.
it's not.
Have hope, baby.
Well, we'll see how it goes. Your plan was to lure them to one person and then try to
Yeah.
flank them.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
So
We've
far, it's
done.
working.
you've done the luring them to one person part flawlessly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So really, all
So-
according to plan.
These
Just
2
live.
stone wraiths leap out from the shadows. The first one is going to make an attack at you. Using Rocky Ambush. Since it was hidden, it's going to mark a stress. And it's going to it's going to leap into melee range. Or
Big
sorry, into
mistake.
very close range. I need you to make an agility or instinct roll for me. Reaction roll, please.
20. I'm on fire right now.
Nice.
Jesus. Okay, so the first one leaps out. You, as your vision clears, you see just in time this thing jumping out from the shadows. Your blade was already prepared as you went into this instinctual battle mode, and you just bring your sword down and catch it as its jaws clamp on the side of your blade. You, with just the force of your sheer size and strength, change the momentum and the trajectory of this thing's leap and just launch it into the underbrush to the side of you. The other one, so I'm going to use a fear, and the other one is going to jump out and attempt to do the same thing. Oh, I don't roll for this. This is a reaction. It's going to mark a stress on that one as well.
20.
Dude, let's go.
There we go.
As
You
the
are
other one,
worried.
the other one jumps out from almost behind you at this point and jumps up onto your shoulders. But as it goes down to bite onto your neck, you reach up and you shove your forearm into its mouth, and it clamps down. You grab above it and just pull it over your shoulder and slam it onto the ground in front of you. It's not able to find purchase through your scales, and now they're both kind of getting back up to their feet and starting to slowly circle around you. Yeah. Fucking. I guess you're not a sitting duck after all.
That's right, baby.
Okay, then, at this point, so I guess technically that first move would have been the spotlight for full transparency, so I'm going to have used 2 fear to get both of them to go. Then I'm going to use another fear for my second movement of this other creature, which, because it has Relentless 2, I can do. It is going to... You still haven't seen it, but you do see this, like, disgusting-looking fluid start to spray from out in the brush as it's going to use its acid spit at you. I'm going to roll to hit then. This is kind of a spell attack. It's pretty good. That's a 19 to hit.
Yeah.
And this thing does 2d20.
Holy
magic
crap.
damage. I say that just in case this is a really high number.
That's crazy.
It could also be a very low number. Daggerheart and all.
Yep.
No way.
One of those is a 20. So that is 33 points of magic damage.
Dude.
Ouch.
So
I'm
where does
gonna-
it, what is your threshold? Does that put you, I mean, definitely
That's
severe.
severe. Yeah, that's severe. It's
but
not major.
okay.
So I can only mark. Can I mark 2 armor? Or can I only mark 1
You
armor?
can only do one.
You can only mark 1 armor unless you're a guardian that has an ability to do
Oh
so.
wait. I'm going to use my Dracona ability.
Mhm.
Actually, hold on. I'm also going to check my patron because I can't remember if that was Valor or Brawn.
You were Valor, I believe.
I'm Valor, but I'm trying to remember if I.
Oh, which one was which?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, well. As a Dracona, I can spend a stress to make a severe into a major. And then I'm going to spend an armor slot to turn that into a minor.
Nice.
Okay.
Good move.
Okay.
So I'll take 1 HP.
So
One stress.
as you redirect the first one with your blade, the second one jumps onto your shoulder. You pull it off of your back and slam it to the ground, and they start to circle around you. You turn just in time to see this torrent of acid spray across your armor and chest, and it starts to seep in. And despite the thickness of your dragon scales and the armor that you wear on top of them, this still finds its way into your flesh, and you feel this searing. This stuff is meant to dissolve stone. It hurts. Despite this, you shrug off most of it, though your armor has seen better days.
And it
Okay.
very much did not reveal itself.
It did not.
Okay.
So we can't even see where it is?
He didn't see it attack, though he does have an idea of where it's at.
Okay.
Right.
So it's not, it is hidden, but it's not impossible for him to know where it's at this one. He could still,
Yeah.
if he were to
He would
move to try
generalize.
to find it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. Okay. I'm going to let the spotlight shift back to you all, whoever would like to go.
I'm waiting
Now-
to see the thing.
Okay. I was going to ask when you guys wanted to pounce. If not,
Yeah.
Cindrix will just attack the closest things to him. But I
I'm
don't know
just
if
gonna-
Reggie had anything.
I was gonna telepathically.
So try not to table talk too much about it. You can go in whatever order you want, but you
Yeah.
can't
Yes.
strategize as to
Yeah.
what's the most efficient order of moves.
Yeah.
I was gonna telepathically be like, "Holy shit, Oz! It's here! Come on!" And then, but I'm staying in the bush.
Yeah, that's a free action. No need to roll for
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
I can see from my vantage. Thank you.
Okay. So I'll deflect both of them, throw this one on the ground, and I'll kind of like look around waiting after I got spit. It's like, don't they know he's clearly in the bushes over there? What are they waiting for? And I'm like, guess I need to do a better job distracting. And I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna. So there's stone wraiths. Are they both within melee range of me now?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're very close. You could step up into melee with either of them.
Okay.
Or both
I
of them.
am going to make an attack, and I'm gonna spend a hope to. I'm gonna attack one of them, spend a hope to activate whirlwind and do half damage to the other one.
Great. Roll that first attack.
Jesus, I knew it wouldn't stay hot forever.
Uh,
I'm gonna use my Seaborn token, my only one, and that is a. Ooh, that's a 10 with fear.
10 unfortunately does not hit. I will take the fear. So as
That's-
they're circling around you, you rear up your sword and go to swing, and you feel the sting of that poison that seeped in, or that acid that seeped in near your neck and shoulder. And you wince for just a second. It delays your swing a fraction of a second and allows the stone wraith to jump out of the way. These things have feline reflexes and are kind of a pain to pin down, as they're just kind of shifting around you and keeping even
And
distance.
then transparency. Because that attack was not successful, I didn't activate my whirlwind, so I still have that hope. And then I also got another Seaborn token because I rolled with fear just then.
Okay.
Because I said it was my last one, and then I'm probably going to use another one.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really my last one.
He's
Turns
fucking
out.
lying. He's
All
bluffing.
right. No, I guess I'll pass the spotlight back to you.
you guess.
Yeah.
I guess. Okay.
It's very nice of you
Yeah, you know,
to give the
Keep the flow
GM
going,
some time
too.
to have fun.
So I will take that spotlight graciously. I'm gonna say that one of the stone wraiths, it looks up above you, and you see it just let out this bellowing roar that sounds like stone scraping against stone, like an avalanche. And above you, it almost like your ears ring. Your ears ring to the point where you can't hear anything else, almost damaging your eardrums alone. But then you look up and you see some of the glass and the structural integrity of this dome starts to shatter and fall down on top of you. I need you to make an agility roll, agility reaction roll.
21.
Nice.
You combat roll and dive out of the way just as these large pieces of stone and glass smash into the spot that you were just standing in. You roll in between them, and as you right yourself, I'm going to spend a fear, and the other one is going to attempt to... actually, I guess it's just going to make a melee attack. It's just going to lunge at you with its claws and its teeth.
Makes sense. You curled yourself up into a toy, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can't resist. Okay. That is a 17 to hit.
Yes.
Okay. It is going to do... That was a good roll, but I didn't mean to roll it, so I'll put that. It's going to do 12... Or no, sorry. Math. 10 points of physical damage.
Okay, that is a minor, so I will take that.
Okay. So it just leaps onto your back, and you can feel its claws and teeth start to sink into the gaps in your armor as it tries to go for your neck. But you shrug it off, and it slumps back down onto the ground. I'm going to spend another fear as... Well, I guess I can't reactivate them, so they're still circling you. Actually, I'm not going to spend that fear yet. You see off to your left, as you're being circled by these two wraiths, you see the branches and the underbrush start to move. As for the first time, stepping out of the brush next to you, you see the cloudy eyes and the large, jagged teeth as it opens its mouth. And you see rows and rows of them going down its throat. You have definitively
Pooped my pants.
found the Venatora. Yeah.
Cat activate.
Yeah. I'm just like, anytime now, guys.
It is going to sort of faster than you expect. You see it kind of pull its whole bulbous body out from the brushes. It is long, and it has these big stumpy legs running down the length of its body, but it moves rather quickly. As it jumps on top of you, and it's going to try to make an attack with its bite.
Launch.
Because I'm already thinking about my next character.
That's a 21.
I mean,
Yeah.
we won't get him here, so.
That's 16 physical damage.
Okay, that's a major, so I'm gonna spend an armor, make that minor.
And you feel its teeth start to grind away at your armor, and that acid spit starts to drip down over the and seep into those holes that it's made.
It's 3 HP.
You do have to mark another armor slot
Oh man.
Oh my god.
as it's just eating through your armor, literally.
Yeah. Oh,
And
Run!
on a successful attack, I gain a fear.
oh my
It actually,
god.
it has momentum. Also, the stone wraith that attacked you earlier has momentum, so I gained a fear from that as well. So I'm at 10. Okay, I'm gonna pass the spotlight back to you all as you are being encircled by these predators.
He's on top of me. I'm gonna say like, alright, I'm holding him down.
Reginald, you'll just see in the distance just a tree just as all of a sudden just this blur of yellow just as the pouncing predator. I can spend a hope to move up to far range without rolling.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
So
That's sick. I like to imagine
You
you
dash
running and
through the
jumping off
underbrush.
everything, yeah.
yeah, just and I will leap out and attempt to take down the Venatora.
Okay, it's big.
Well, it's just the name of the skill. So
Yeah, but depending on what the outcome is, I may rule like if you're gonna like grapple
It
this
doesn't
thing and
take
like
down anything.
tackle it. Okay, great.
Yep,
Then
it's just the name of the skill.
you're just like pouncing on its back, effectively.
Yeah,
That's
I'm just
fine. Yeah,
pouncing
go
on
for it.
Yeah. I mark a stress, and I move into melee range and make an attack roll against them, which the pouncing predator has advantage on attack rolls.
Seems
Does
good.
he
Nice.
also?
Did you
I know
mark
it
a
doesn't
stress
stack,
to do it?
but
so
does he
it's
have
fair.
advantage from me holding him?
Yes,
Of course.
Yeah.
that's what the advantage is coming from.
Advantage, right? Thank goodness, because that was shit. Still not great. So that's going to be.
Oh
God
no.
damn it. Well, that's going to be a super cool 8.
With
Oh wait, shoot. I forgot my instinct. So 12. With
And what's-
hope.
Oh,
with hope,
oh, I guess it still has to succeed though.
I
so I
still have
don't
to
gain a
succeed.
fear. But as you pounce onto it from behind, you think you have a flank. You do, and so you kind of think this is you're a shoo-in. You're a predator. You see an open neck. It's facing the other direction. But as you land on top of this thing and clamp down, it's spined and scaled. And your teeth sink into this thing and just scrape across it, unable to find purchases. You kind of just slide down the side of its body and land
forgot
next
about
to
my
it.
Seaborn tokens. Shit.
Yeah.
Well, there goes the stress.
So, unfortunately, that is a failed attack. It like recoils at the strike against its side. Spotlight shifts back to them. It is going to... let me actually make sure this does work. Works. Yeah, okay. It's going to turn at you now, and it's just going to make a bite attack at you to start.
Okay.
This thing that's now in its range.
Oh, I slipped out. Watch out.
Well, that's a 1, so that ain't going to do it.
Ooh,
As it
nice.
clamps down its teeth towards you, and you hear this like grinding and scraping, again, like stone against stone, almost nails on a chalkboard. But your feline reflexes are fast enough that you slink out of the way just in time. As its cloudy eyes are looking over both of you. It's going to kind of take a step back and attempt to kind of pull itself back out into the brush.
Get him.
Cindrix.
Attack of opportunity.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Hear that?
I hear it.
I hear him, pal.
That's a crit.
Hey!
Double sevens. Double
This
sevens,
motherfucker never doesn't crit on an attack of opportunity.
dude. I just. And I plant my feet. And I'm like, you're not going anywhere. And then I'm
Okay.
gonna draw my longsword and just try and cut off like one of its legs.
Okay. Yeah.
That's just
Roll
how
an
I'm
attack.
describing this attack. All right.
Oh no, you still have to roll the attack, right? Or no, I think you
I
just do damage,
I
right?
just deal straight damage. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
crit damage, but it's
Right.
primary weapon damage. Which is a good roll at 10 physical.
Nice.
10 physical.
Wait.
Okay.
12.
12 physical. Okay. That is minor damage for it. But
Okay.
yeah, you as it turns to try to like scurry back into the brush, not expecting full group of predators to be ready for it. You just swing down and you cut off its first limb on that side. And it squirms as it kind of loses its balance and can't pull itself for a second. And you use that opportunity to kind of like jump onto its back and hold it down, pinning it into the ground. It does screech, and it is horrifying. And as it turns, its eyes lock into yours, and it's going to use a reaction.
Mm-mm.
It's going to spend a
I close my
fear,
eyes.
and I need you to make an instinct reaction roll, please.
Ooh. 12.
12. As your eyes lock with its, you feel your joints start to stiffen.
Oh, God.
Oz, from your vantage, you can see on his scales this thick gray stone start to form. Patches just up the sides of his body. Doesn't happen all at once. You mark an HP, and we start the petrification countdown of 4. So I've got your
I'm thinking
countdown
sorcerer
started.
or rogue next.
Okay.
All right. So that was its attempt to move. I'm gonna have it use its. I'm gonna burn another fear. It's going to also clamp down its jaws onto you again, Cindrix, now that you're holding it in place.
Man.
That is a natural 20.
Oh my god.
Just roll it there, dude.
Just
Hold on, I actually gotta look this up now.
what to do.
death moves.
Yeah. It's on page 106.
Okay.
Brutal criticals for both sides, I assume.
Oh, yeah,
So we get that as well?
Yeah.
Fortunately, this is not the 2d20 attack, to be clear. So you did get lucky in that sense. That is still 35 points of physical damage, however.
Jeez.
Okay, that's still just severe. I'll mark another stress to drop that to major. Then I'll mark 2 armor.
You can only,
You
you
still
can only
can't
do
do
one.
that.
Well, I mean,
But-
I'm
Yes, you do have to
Well,
mark
yeah.
an extra one. So mark
Because
one
of
to
the
lower
acid.
it, and then
Yeah.
you mark another one because of the attack. Yep.
Oh.
okay. Okay.
As you hold this thing in place, and you
I let go.
try to pull a Rorschach of like, you're locked in here with me, it turns around and clamps down back onto you. And his teeth dig in once again, and your
Oh my
armor starts to
God.
melt on top of you.
All right. At some point, we'll hit these guys.
Yes.
Yeah, at some point. I'm gonna use one more fear, and actually, yeah, one more fear. One of the stone wraiths is going to step off the path and sink into the ground and become hidden.
Oh.
The other one is just going to kind of circle around you as it sees what's happening. And it's going to sort of start to drift over towards where you are, Oz. So it's kind of like sizing you up. But it's not going to attack. The spotlight is going to shift back to you all.
All right, Reggie.
Okay.
Sorry. Seeing
no.
this all
Just-
happen.
As long as you hit.
Yeah, I'm going to cast something that does not require a roll. So, well, it requires... Yeah. Reggie's going to see this all happening from the bush. Before he could even react, the blur of yellow comes in, tries to take it down, and then this attack of opportunity happens. So he's like, all right, I guess this is my turn. And I step out, and I'm going to, like, whoosh my staff around, and it's going to burst into a bright purple. And I'm going to cast Arcane Barrage, which is once per rest. I can spend any number of hope that I have and shoot magical projectiles that strike a target of choice within close range. And there's no contestant. It's just...
Yeah,
Straight up.
nice.
And I'm going to use
Okay.
all
many-
4 of my hope to try to
Okay.
hit this thing hard. And it's a
Okay.
d6 for each one of those hope.
Could be big.
Yes. Let's do this. That is 18. That's pretty close to
18 damage.
18
Okay.
damage, magical damage.
Yeah, that is major.
Nice.
So that's 2 HP. As you do so, these braiding arcane missiles, we'll call them, strike into the side of this thing and just light it up down the length of its body. As it recoils and screeches out in pain, its head instinctively shoots over to you.
And then
It's going to use another fear, and the gray eyes are going to lock in with yours. You may not have needed to roll for it, but you did deal damage. I need you to
yeah.
make an instinct reaction.
That is 18. Nice.
18. You feel the periphery of your vision start to narrow. And you feel your joints start to stiffen, but you shrug it off, seeming to have no effect. Okay, that's a success. You guys can continue. Spotlight's still on you.
There's one more thing I'd like to do if it's cool.
Right.
I'm gonna.
Yeah. If Cintrix is out of play, I was gonna check with him. But otherwise,
I was going to use my once per short rest free spell that normally costs a hope. Doesn't need a hope. And I'm going to cast Paralela, which I'm going to cast this on Syndrix. And now the next time Syndrix makes an attack, they can hit an additional target within range that their attack roll would succeed against.
Cool.
No, nice.
That's it.
Okay.
I'll shift it.
So you guys see as Reggie reaches out with his staff and kind of waves it in front of him, and there's this sort of purple afterimage of his staff trailing behind it. And then you see this sort of purple outline around Syndrix that starts to follow him, drift just beyond his movement. Oz, you had a move?
You could go Oz, yeah.
Okay, perfect. I'm just going to attempt to pounce on this guy again.
Nice.
So
We could do it.
Which one are you attacking?
the
Same one?
the
Venatora.
Venatora. So attack the Venatora again with my takedown. Oh, okay, that's much better. All right, that's going to be a 19 to hit.
19 to hit. That certainly does.
Perfect.
Nice.
All right, so it's d8s for damage. And on a success, I get +2 bonus to my proficiency for this attack, and the target must mark a stress.
Ooh.
So regardless, he marks a stress, and he takes... Oh, that's bad. That start is shit. I didn't roll above a 4 on any of those.
Oh, man.
That is going to be 13.
All right, a 13. That does just push into his major category,
Nice.
so you did just enough. Don't
Okay.
worry. I will say that stress was huge. He is now vulnerable.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
And that was going to be a useful stress for me, so that's unfortunate. Okay, yeah, this time you ignore the stone wraith that's circling you, and you turn and pounce back on the now harried Venatora. This time you're prepared, and you find a soft spot kind of underneath its neck, and you rip into it, and this blood starts to pour down the sides of your mouth and onto your claws. As this thing screeches out, it pulls its head away, and a big chunk of its flesh rips off into your mouth, but its eyes do meet yours. It's gonna spend a fear to make you roll an instinct reaction roll.
A 19.
Sorry, was that
Nice.
with hope, by the way? Your
Yes,
attack?
that was with
Okay.
hope.
I
Sorry.
couldn't remember. A 19. Again, you feel your joints start to stiffen, but you shrug it off. You're fully in like the instinctual hunting mode of this predator, and it doesn't seem to faze you. Okay. Spotlight's still on you guys. You guys are handling it.
So, are the two stone wraiths next to each other, or did one of them run away?
One of them has slunk into the stone. The other one is still
Okay.
circling around where Oz is.
So, because Syndrix is going to get away from this Venatora.
Okay, you pull yourself out of its maw. After, I guess it turned and looked at Oz, so you take that opportunity to step away.
And I want to attack the stone wraith, but I do not want to do damage to the Venatora. And I don't know if because of the spell cast against me, if I have to, or if I can like save that for another time. I don't want to hit.
Oh,
the
you can
Venatora.
save it. I'm sorry. Yes, you can save
Okay.
it when you choose.
Okay.
It's
Well, in this case, I'm going to only attack the stone wraith.
yeah, that's fine. Well, read the spell though, because
Yeah. It says the
Let's
next
make sure.
time the target makes an attack, they can hit an additional target within their attack.
so I don't think you
roll.
can save it, but you either use it or don't on the next
Oh.
attack.
Damn.
And
Alright.
you actually
I'm
probably
risking my
wouldn't
life
even
here.
be able to. Yeah, you could maybe make an argument for it, but this thing's pretty. It's kind of on the other side of where Oz was, so you wouldn't even be in range of the Venator anyway. You can choose
right.
not to use it. Venator.
Well, There's
It's up to
nothing
you.
within range anyway.
If you wanted to try to stretch it, I would probably allow it because cool and want to see it. But it is kind of like pushing the range anyway, so justifiably you could just step out and attack the stone wraith without feeling like a fucking coward.
I'd rather you
Well,
live. Well,
I die if I'm there, and I die if I hit it. So
Unless you roll hope.
true.
If it stays on our turn, then it's not so bad.
yeah. Okay, I will attack the stone wraith, and only the stone wraith. Sorry, Reggie. Kind of
It's all
wasted your
good.
spell there. But I am dying. That is a 20 to hit with hope.
Yes.
I not for damage. That is 13 physical damage to that stone wraith.
13 physical damage. This is the first time you've actually hit the stone wraiths, it appears. That is major damage. So your blade comes down and carves through the stone as it tries to duck out of the way. Sparks fly off, but you do see some like what you would imagine would be the life essence or blood of this thing kind of dripping out, though it looks more like some kind of oil or sludge.
And instead of taking a hope, I'm going to add a slayer die to my pool.
Cool.
And how close are you now to Oz?
Be pretty close,
back.
right?
Yeah, you guys are basically melee. You're kind of back
Okay,
to
we're
back.
still melee.
Yeah.
Okay. I will.
He's very close with the Venatora, but he's melee with you.
Okay. I will kind of back up for just take a step back, and I'll turn, and Oz, you'll just yeah. Dendrix, you'll just feel a on your leg as this jaguar licks you.
Okay.
Roll a d4 and recover that much HP.
Oh my god, this is so big.
That heals through licking.
Okay. Really bad roll. Just flat d4?
Yep, just flat d4.
Alright, I hit 1 point. But then I reach down, I'll pet you and say, good kitty.
Still just Oz, but all right.
Yeah, his voice does unfortunately come out of that thing's mouth, and it is as bad as it sounds. Yeah.
Just, oh!
So I guess,
Okay.
I guess that's an action token for you, or whatever. However that.
No, those don't apply. Yeah, so you're
Okay,
good.
nice.
Still in your court.
Okay, perfect. Did you have another move?
I have something if you don't
Okay.
have anything.
Go for
I
it.
unless
just
you
want to
do.
keep doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah. Okay. Seeing that Syndrix is getting bloody and worrying about him, Reggie's going to build up as much bravery as he can, and he's going to run at this Venatora and place a hand against him and attempt to cast Power Push to push it out of range so it can't kill Syndrix.
Roll an attack.
All right, and this is against him. Yes. Oh no. Okay, first off, I rolled an 11, so I get a hope, which is nice because that's my strange patterns number.
Oh, yeah.
So on
yeah, yeah.
one of the die.
On one of the
Oh,
die.
okay.
Yes. And then that was a 15. That's a 15 to hit.
With
Oh, with hope. Yes,
with hope. Okay.
Oh
Yes.
my god, thank goodness, boys.
15 is just what you needed.
Yes! Okay, sweet. So now I get to roll 2d10 damage.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a d10 with my proficiency.
Oh, okay. Solid.
This could be very high or very low.
That is an 8 total. But it pushes him into far range.
So that is minor damage. As
Oh.
you push it,
It's d10 plus 2. So that's 14 total. I mean 12. I can't do math.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
It's
think
12,
it's per die.
Or 10. Or 10.
yeah, didn't
It
you roll
says-
an 8?
It
You
says
add your
t-
proficiency after both your dice rolls.
Okay, I get it.
Okay.
Or not.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say proficiency.
So it's 10 total. 10 total.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, still minor, but good.
That's good.
As you rush into its range, building up all this courage, you put your hand. Oh, my light's dying. You put your hand up to it, and this enormous burst of purplish arcane energy launches it, picks it up off of its feet, and pushes it back into the gardens behind it. As you do so, however, it does lock eyes with you midair. So it's going to spend another fear. And I need you to make a instinct reaction roll.
That is a 19.
Nice.
And I did roll an 11 as one of those. Does that count during a reaction roll?
What's it say?
It says choose a number, and anytime it says when you roll that number on a duality die, gain a hope or clear stress.
Sounds pretty legit to me.
Yeah, that's
We'll,
All
we'll
right,
run
I'll
with
take
it
this.
for now, yeah.
Yeah, I'll take another hope. Sweet.
Okay. Yeah, you launch this thing back into the gardens and kind of lose sight of it.
Oh,
It looked pretty hurt and upset.
okay.
Uh,
Did we
that was
fully
with
lose sight of
hope.
it?
That was with hope.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Well, I saw where it went. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna spend another hope to dash after it without making a roll.
Okay.
So I'm going to attempt to jump on this fucker again.
Yeah, okay. It didn't have an opportunity to hide, so after you know, like finding your golf ball, you get up on top of it, and you do have another vantage of it. So you can go ahead and make that attack.
All right. It's been too good for too long, I fear, guys.
Yeah.
We keep rolling.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Oh, and that's with advantage. Oh, well, it's shitty advantage. That's another 19.
Nice. With hope.
Yes, with hope.
Nice.
And then I have my
Definitely hits.
little takedown.
Dramatic lighting for a second.
I cannot roll well on my damage dice. That is going to be 16. Do we determine if that's good or not?
I think that's good.
gonna. Yeah.
16. 16 is major damage.
Hey, there we go. I'm just find a
Oh.
familiar spot. Just keep fighting into it.
Was that with advantage because he was vulnerable?
Yeah.
Oh well, I have advantage anyway. So
Okay.
You clamp down again in that same spot. This thing's now on its back as it was launched through the air, and before it has an opportunity even to roll onto its stomach, you pounce out of the underbrush and land on its stomach and start ripping into it. Yeah, it's looking really hurt. You tear into like the soft under part of its neck, and you get into some vital territory here. Like blood's starting to spray
Nice.
with each pulse of its heart, and it does not. It's looking rough. It's looking on its last legs.
I'm going to see this happening. I will cast Ice Spike, which I can do to an enemy in far range, and I'll use it as a weapon. So I'll cast a spellcasting roll against its difficulty. And do I have advantage because it's
it's vulnerable. Yeah.
vulnerable? All
I
right.
believe so.
Try to get that nice little underbelly.
Yeah, the soft bit.
Nice. Okay. Simple math.
I believe.
22 with hope.
Ooh.
And that is 2d6 of damage. Which is 4 and 8 total.
Oh.
Uh,
That was a quiet mouth. Still quiet.
No.
Shit.
Oh, you're
I
back.
don't know when I muted myself. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out this fucking lighting thing.
You look
doesn't matter
fine.
anyway. Yeah, that's fine. Anyway, what were the numbers to hit?
22 to hit with hope,
Definitely hits. Okay,
and
then
it was
damage.
8 damage.
This is against the Venatora.
Yes. I'm trying to slip in an ice spike right in this jugular that Oz just opened.
Where
up.
are you? So you launched it back into the underbrush. From
Yeah.
your vantage, you don't actually have a visual of this thing.
Oh.
So I hate to be raining on your parade, and I'm sorry that I was distracted by this bullshit while you were doing it. But if you can describe to me how you find a vantage point to make this attack, I'm totally down for it.
Yes, here's how I do it. When Oz ran in after it, I watched him go, and then telepathically I was asking him for, like, where to aim. And he
Okay.
said, right here.
I would probably have given you like disadvantage with that or something if you're just doing it via like remote. But I think it's cool. I think it's
So
cool.
they cancel out. Straight roll.
Shit.
I mean,
This is-
what do you roll for your advantage? You could just subtract that.
Yeah, it was a 5, so it'd be 17.
All right, I think rule of cool outweighs it. I think, given all of the information we have, you triangulate its position based off of telepathy with Oz, and you just bring up this ice spike, and you're like, "Oh, I hope this is right," and bring it up,
Yeah.
and you hope you don't hear the screech of a jaguar off in the distance. Oz, you see this enormous icicle form above your head. And you jump out of the way just in time to see it plunge deep into the throat of this thing. Reggie, how do you want to kill this Venator?
Okay. So, when he's kind of tearing into this thing, and I cast a spell, and I'm like, look out! And then it goes straight into an opening that he had just tore open right into its neck, and then like pins on the ground below it.
Love it. So you dive just out of the way just in time, Oz, as this giant spike of ice pins this thing to the earth like an insect in a collection. And blood starts to spray out around the icicle as it squirms around it and writhes, and its limbs start to kick and reach out. And the lure at the top of its head has been kind of trailing behind it this whole time, snakes through the grass and whips around wildly before its death rattles stop.
And
have
the
officially
murder
killed
weapon
this.
will melt.
Yeah.
At this moment, Syndrix, you see all of this taking place off in your peripheral vision. You hear the screeching of this thing as its death rattles conclude. The stone formation along your scales starts to recede and eventually flakes off. You see the stone wraith in front of you glance off in the other direction and start to take a few steps back, and then it sinks down into the stone.
Nice. Okay.
Was the one in melee range?
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on.
Oh, you did attack it, yeah, so it was in melee range. Let me see if it has an ability that makes that a thing. You do have an opportunity. So as it's slinking in, you have an opportunity because it is technically leaving your range.
Or attack of opportunity.
Like stick your sword like under it as it tries to sink in.
That is 17.
17. That definitely hits. Go ahead and roll damage. Or, sorry,
or
this
you
is your attack
spend it
opportunity.
moving.
How are you taking your action?
I'm just gonna hit it.
Fair enough.
I'm just gonna hit it. I could grab it, but it might kill me.
There's
So,
always that possibility.
12 damage.
12 damage. Yeah, 12 damage is major. This thing, on the way out, you catch it and you actually cut off its tail and part of one of its back legs as it screeches out in pain and then sinks into the stone.
Okay.
Almost falling into it. But then completely disappears from your sight. And the battlefield once again becomes calm and still.
Well,
Until you start to hear rustling all around you. And noises, both near and far, screeches, calls, roars. And you see a small stegosaurus rush out from the brush next to you. And then a large triceratops tears through the canopy, one of its limbs damaged. It's kind of limping and bleeding. As it seems, you weren't the only ones reverted to your original form at the death of this Venatora. A few mid-sized, carnivorous-looking bipedal reptiles start rushing out from the bushes next to you. Crazed and confused, they start snapping out at you. Any reactions? I'll put the spotlight on you all.
Oz, can you calm this thing down?
Yeah, hold on.
I really...
Yeah. All right, I suppose I will attempt. Well, first I'll just use Nature's Tongue.
So this is all happening very quickly. This one rushes out, but it's not by any means the only one. And as that's happening, another one of those larger triceratops rushes through next to you. And it just looks confused and trying to defend itself. So you can attempt to cast this spell, but it's not like time has stopped around you.
Right. And I'll just... first I need to make a spellcast roll to see if it succeeds. Just 12. Well, I crushed it, but with fear. So... I'm still a jaguar. 26.
26 is just to succeed at casting the spell, correct?
Yeah, just to cast the spell.
So you do open up a line of communication with this. Which one are you attempting to communicate with? Just the first one you saw? So like the...
Yeah, just with the first one I saw. And just like, just...
It starts to lunge out at you, teeth bared.
Yeah. The beast is dead. We killed it. You're good. Relax. Calm down. You're no longer stone.
Now I need you to roll presence.
Yes. Which I'm not good at. Unless you crit.
Hey!
Dude, the second presence crit for you. I mean, the last one was on the spell itself, and I kind of ruled it that way, but critting on this twice is insane. You're 2 for 2. Okay. All right. On a crit, it rushes out towards you, and you sort of like... I thought you were in jaguar form. I imagine your spirit is sort of like doing the fucking Chris Pratt move from Jurassic World, like with both hands out at the raptors. As they both kind of stop in place, the Triceratops kind of stomps and steps back and assumes a more defensive stance. And the small carnivore looks at you and kind of glances over at it and glances around.
Sorry?
It's gone.
We slew it.
It lets out a legally distinct velociraptor yelp.
Solid.
And then rushes off around you. The Triceratops turns, looks frantic.
You have a herd to catch up to.
And then you see a smaller Triceratops rush out from behind it, screeching out. And it looks, and it rushes up next to it, and they both turn and start rushing towards the door, and the one looks over at you and says, "Thank you," as they rush back out into the thoroughfare. And you have once again avoided any interaction in combat with the dinosaurs.
That's huge.
as they seem
The
to just like
dinosaur kid.
Another
coming
step
through.
towards our quest of
As
a
they seem to
dinosaur
just-
army.
part around you as they're just flooding out of this space. Seemingly, there were statues throughout that were kind of obscured by the underbrush, sort of saving snacks for later.
All right.
You've done it.
Well, that was a rather successful hairball.
Oh no.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
As Oz just kind of, tosses his paw out that's covered in blood, along with the blood all over his face.
And Cindrix is gonna limp over, and like literal pieces of his chainmail are just like falling off and sizzling. And he's like, "Man, that guy didn't really hit as hard as he looked like he would." I'm gonna go over here and have a seat and look for some
That's all right. Yeah,
herbs
one nice
and
spot. You can have a cat
medicines
nap.
and,
Somebody turn him back,
Yeah.
please,
Yeah.
fast.
Well, let's look for this lungwort as fast as we can. It seems like it's probably safe here now, but... And I look at Cindrix. I think we need to get back.
Yeah, the city could be in danger. We gotta. Yeah. Following you guys.
All right. I just. Here, you
I'll
know
be
what?
right behind you.
Tell you what. As Oz will revert form. Just, Reginald, we're still linked. Why don't you take a moment to help out Cindrix? I'll look around real quick and nab it. I know what it looks like. Know where it grows.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, Oz, you can go ahead and make an instinct roll. I will give you advantage since you have
I feel like this is
discussed
Oz's
things
specialty.
with Maura, and you have the sheet for the texts.
And
Lady Kennedy.
as the night's coming to a close, I might as well just spend my Seaborn tokens because I'll forget otherwise.
Yeah.
Do you want to use an expertise while you're at it? Just
That's
you certainly
true,
have
actually.
something that we could finally use an expertise on a roll.
Yeah.
God damn it. Experience. Thank you.
Experience, yeah. I am an herbalist.
Oh,
That costs
Oh, this
hope,
is
though,
perfect.
right?
it's
Yes,
two
it
hope.
does.
But you have
No,
a free
it's
hope
one
for
hope.
rest.
It's
It's one hope.
It's one hope.
Oh yeah, it is one hope. You
it's
have
plus
one
two.
free. Or is that just me?
No, the hope is just for spells.
That's just for spells, yeah.
You're right.
You
You're right.
can
You're right.
not use
You're
the consumed hope for one spell per rest.
You're right.
Well, it's a crit.
Yeah.
Well, shit. Oh, roll the d6. Let's see what you get on top of it.
I did. That was a 3. So in total, it was I get just double 11s.
Oh, so it's a high
Okay.
crit.
Nice.
It's a high crit. So
Ah.
22, 25 tokens for 27. The experience for 29.
I'll
I
throw
was
in
a-
one. I'll throw in one
I
for
was-
just being a good dude. We'll get you up
Yeah.
to 30. We'll pump
All
you up.
right. Simple
All right.
30.
Find one of every herb ever.
Yeah,
You're
you
like, I'll go look for them. Oh, they're right here.
Yeah.
you do find enough lungwort to, you would imagine, make water breathing potions for the next year. You don't need that much. You get plenty.
I'll tell them exactly where to find more of this.
And you also can go ahead and fill up any supplies of herbs or, medicine
This
that
is an
you
herb
may
garden, yeah.
that you may need for anything that you plan to do for any projects that you may be working towards or things like
Perfect.
that. So we'll say that for future reference, you have stocked up on anything
Okay.
that you could need.
I'll slap that down in my inventory as medicinal stock.
Cool.
While he was doing that, I go over to Cindrix, and with him taking a seat, I'm gonna sit next, or go to a knee next to him, and place a hand on him, And then right before I start to initiate something, you see on my staff one of these golden glowing mushrooms.
Initiates.
Just like it just fades out and goes blank. And you see me look at it, and my face gets very somber for a second. And then I'll look back to Cindrix, and I'm going to cast Mending Touch. So I'm taking a few minutes to focus on this target that I'm helping. And I'm going to spend 2 hope to clear a hit point or a stress from you. But
Wow.
I'm also going to reveal something about myself so you can clear 2 hit points or 2 stress if you like. So with my
Going to reveal.
with my hand
This
on
cost
you,
you 2 hope to do? Dang.
yeah, with my hand on you, and you can tell you just saw that mushroom fade. I'll say, you see these mushrooms on here, they're connected back to my hometown of the Mongrel Forest. Every time one of these fades, that means the mold has taken another portion of the forest. So yes, I am in here helping you guys, helping these guys too. But I got a ticking clock. And then like I turn it, and you see there's only like 4 left that are still light and the rest are faded. And that scares me. And then when I say that, my hand starts glowing purple. And you start to heal.
Take a breath of fresh air. We'll find a cure.
I hope we can.
Oh, Reginald, I wish you were here. I found this huge mushroom. It's just massive. Oh, you'd love the look of it. We're still connected telepathically.
That's right. And Cindrix, you just see like that somber look goes away and a big smile breaks out. All right, now bring me one back. And then like I'll stand up and kind of like brush off that sad feeling and get back to it.
All right. You guys are able to gather your resources that you came for and reconvene at the front of the botanical sector. You walk out to a pretty disgusting sight as that rubble that was out in front is now just sort of remains kind of strewn about.
Oh.
But a clear path back to the inner circle. You venture your way back. You get up to the channel across from where the wall is. You signal to the guards, which you don't see, but you didn't see before either. They seem to have a pretty good way of camouflaging themselves. You sit there for a few minutes. You start to be a little nervous, but
Are we in the right spot?
just then the walls open. And a bridge extends out to you.
Ah, perfect.
There we go.
You know,
And as
I
you're
was
led
just
across... Go ahead.
thinking, Cindrix, I was gonna have you break that wall down.
Pretty tired.
As you're led across, you notice sort of a worried look on the guards' faces as they rush out to meet you. One of them starts to speak and then...
Best you come with me.
and turns and rushes you along at a faster pace than you were expecting. You have to kind of trot to keep up with him. As you pass through the small town that makes up this inner circle is kind of a buzz. Families are kind of gathering together and rushing towards shelters, and the guards are rushing around shouting orders at each other. You're led
This doesn't
into
seem
the
ideal.
into the palace, and eventually you're led back into Katian's office. You see guards gathered around the outside, and Maura, you recognize. Or I'm sorry, not Maura. You see a smaller salamander humanoid. He turns and rushes over towards you. He says, "Sorry, I'm Cassell. I don't think we had an opportunity to meet. There's been an attack.
Oh.
The corrupted came again. We didn't even see them enter. Lady Katian. Maura, my sister. A handful of other historians. They were taken.